Well, hello, and welcome to another edition of the Big Freaking Friday Show on the College Football Mafia Network. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown. With me are my co-hosts and partners and everything we do here at College Football Mafia. That would be the Wild Ute. How you doing, Ute?
Hey. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And the hardest working guy that isn't on network television, that would be Moen. How are we doing tonight, Moen?
Well, we're here. I got something a little special.
Go for it.
Got something in the bag.
What is it? Tell us.
That's Skyline, isn't it?
Oh, this is a complete surprise to me. I didn't know this was coming.
This.
What is it? Oh, Black Label.
It's
something.
a Bengals Crown Royal bottle.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
is it? Okay.
I thought
Bengals,
you were
did they-
drinking, Moan. You're gonna.
I finished my ketamine treatment, so I can start.
Okay.
How do you like ketamine? I've
Didn't do
talked to
anything to
somebody
me.
who's-
Didn't do anything to me.
Yeah.
And I
that's
tried
kinda-
telling this to people. They said it's going to do this to you, that to you. And I said, guys, listen, it's not going to do anything to me. And
There's a
then when it didn't do anything to me, they were like, I can't believe it didn't do anything to you.
Yeah, some people don't understand body chemistry, Moen. Believe me,
Yeah.
I have the same argument with people. I've never had ketamine, but I understand what you're saying. Welcome everybody to the show. Yes, that's a good way to get off. Ketamine treatments to start the Big Freaking Friday show. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. It was another crazy week in college football and in sports in general. Basketball that started, teams off to good starts, bad starts, all kind of stuff. It's the best time of the year to be watching sports. So we appreciate you being here tonight, spending some time with us. Did the Bengals play last night, Moen?
No, thankfully
Okay.
they did not. It was a much more exciting game between Denver and the Raiders that went 10-7.
Ooh,
Worst
sounds
football
fun.
game I've
It
ever
was
seen.
terrible. It was an
Mm.
awful football game. But I won $40 on it because I had Ashton Genty with the first touchdown.
There you go. And that's all that matters. Who cares who
Ooh,
wins and
no.
loses as long as you win? That's all I say.
As long as I make
Uh,
money.
How about you, Ute? Let's give you a few minutes here. You've been sitting in the background. Moen and I have been doing shows and videos. What's on your mind? I want to hear from you tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited to do the tier maker tonight that we've been talking about for the last few weeks here. We're doing the ultimate tier maker, if you want to call it the best of the rest between the Power Two. If you want to call it the Premier League, if you want to call it the Super League, I don't care, whatever you want to call it. We're breaking that out right now. We're going to tell you who's in, who's out. We're going to break it out 16 teams to 20 teams in the SEC and the Big Ten. Who would make it into the Premier League? Probably led by Michigan, huh, Mon? Michigan still is at the forefront of that. But it's been really good. The Utes last week, they pounded Cincinnati.
Yep.
13th in the polls and everything. So tomorrow's a big day. A lot of stuff going on, but good times.
So you brought it up. I wasn't going to say anything, but so who are you cheering for tomorrow? Is it Texas Tech or is it BYU?
Well, here's the deal. It's better for Utah if BYU wins, but I just can't cheer for BYU. Just like you couldn't cheer for Utah.
I could not.
I can't do it.
No,
It's better for the Utes. I just can't do it. So I'm going with Texas Tech.
That is why we do this so well, Ute, is you and I who we are, right? We're not fake.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do that's just the way it is. I love that answer. That's a fantastic answer. We will get to the picks, Moen, so you don't get to say anything quite yet. We did yesterday morning. I interviewed Cody Campbell. If you didn't catch that interview, we're going to break it into pieces. There was at the end of the interview, 10 minutes, Moen, that we did break out a short video. I'm going to repost that link tonight that was talking about BYU, the Big 12, and Texas Tech and kind of what they're trying to do down there. But there were some pretty cool quotes. Did you guys, I know Moen did. Did you watch the video?
I haven't had a chance yet. No,
Okay.
I have not.
Moen, he spoke with me for almost a full half hour. Were there a couple headlines you want to highlight that Cody said? Because, he's trying to save college sports.
Everything revolves around Texas Tech.
Well, certainly. It's his money.
That's a direct quote from him in that video. So definitely.
It is.
So I put it right on the thumbnail. Check it out.
Texas Tech's the son of college football, I guess, huh?
Look, he who has the cash has the done, I guess. I don't know. A couple quotes that came out of me that I thought were extremely interesting. He said, and the analysis that he did, and they paid big money. There's $7 billion to be unlocked if this thing reorganized. So right now it's between 2.5 and 4. I can't remember. The number has moved a little bit over the last few years. So there's a potential of $3 or $4 billion more dollars that would go not only to settle up the difference between Tulane and Ohio State, but also true as many of the programs is. He didn't say every program gets in, but he did say that there would be a league that everybody be pretty much taken care of. So I think that was extremely interesting to me. The other thing he said is all the people that have been screaming that he's trying to break college sports tomorrow, you're completely ignorant. And I didn't have a quote from him to believe that, but yesterday he told me his plan is 10 to 12 years down the road when media deals expire. That would take us past 3036, by the way. 2030, that was dumb. 2036. So yeah, Cody Campbell's not out to break anything, but Texas Tech's certainly the center of the universe. There's no doubt about it.
Did you ask him about the clearinghouse?
No, like you said, I only have half. I would have though. I have a whole. It's all right here. It's all written down. I had a bunch of stuff, but I needed to get to I was lucky to get anything BYU, Texas Tech, a Big 12, CFP. I mean, that his passion project, which is what I care about too. But look, if you don't think money's here for real with college football. Now, last night after the live show with John Kurtz, which again, I dropped last night, it was a live show. I did bring up the Clearinghouse CSC, and did you see that yesterday? That I could bring it up again if everybody wants to see it. How many
CSC
been processed?
Figures? Yeah, it looked pretty reasonable. They've actually been doing a pretty good job.
I think so. I would have to give them a little credit. I think they are trying to sort it out. Originally it was a gobbledygook to me, and I think they were saying weird things, but Moen, you saw that thing. What did you think about what the Clearinghouse is doing right now?
I agree with you. I think they're doing good. I think they're getting more efficient. And that's just going to come with practice and time. So I think they're getting through them a lot quicker than they were to start, which is a good sign.
Sure. Yeah. It does look like there one thing, there was nothing in arbitration, or I can't remember the word they used. There's nothing in the middle. Nobody got a deal reviewed and then turned down and said, no, we appeal, right? They went back but there are about $10-11 million still to be updated. I would be curious, how much do you think that by the end of the year they're going to process? Realizing they didn't start till what, July 1st or 15th?
It's going to be a lot. Yeah.
100.
They've only turned down 100 deals or so?
No, it's like 10%. It's a little over 10%. It's like 11% of the deals have been flat out denied that aren't in our, the middle ground. I think that's a pretty good number, don't you guys? I mean,
yeah, it's a fantastic number. The question is, how many aren't going through the clearinghouse?
That's a great question.
That's the black market right there. And I'm sure all those would not clear the clearinghouse for that reason too, right? So.
I would, yes. They, in no way, shape, or form has this gotten rid of the McDonald's bags of cash, full of money. I don't think that's ever going to happen, by the way. Moen, last word. Anything you want to say before we do shout-outs?
No, let's move right into shout-outs.
All right, let's do that. Ryan Willies, first in the house. Good to see you, Ryan. The Wisconsin Badgers, they play this weekend, Moen?
I believe they do. We're not picking the game, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
But I know Ryan got some bad news yesterday. So the AD came out, Chris McIntosh, and said that Luke Fickell is coming back next year.
I saw that.
And talking to some sources in our group chat, they happen to say that Wisconsin is now going to open the wallet because, he's only been there 3 years. Why would you?
I know. Why
wallet
now?
for 3 years,
You threw away 3 years. Why would you say that all of a sudden? That's stupid.
I don't know.
There's not a lot of good coaching options, guys. There's like 20 jobs open, big-time jobs. Like, what coaches are you going to get? Like, James Franklin's got to be like the number one coach out there right now.
He's got to be up there.
Penn State made a huge mistake by firing that guy. Penn State.
It was so emotional. You could feel that decision through the internet. I mean,
that's the number one coach that everyone's going to want. The guy's going to get a pay raise.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Daniel Gygax, second in the house. By the way, thank you so much, Ryan. It's great to see you tonight. Daniel Gygax in the house, moderator and somebody who contributes around here weekly on a 1 minute sort of show he does every Sunday evening. And I really, really appreciate those analysis. Thank you so much for being here tonight, Daniel. He says, hi, everyone. Stormy Cyclone says, hello, everyone. Sorry, Moen. I think Heartline takes a job with one of the big time schools. Why doesn't Heartline take the job at Penn State?
Well, they haven't offered him the job as far as I know.
I know, but why wouldn't they?
Listen, if you get offered the Penn State job, I would tell him to take it. But I don't know that he wants to be a head coach. I really don't. He coached receivers for years. He loved that. Listen, it's not like Ohio State's offense isn't firing on all cylinders right now.
No, it's not like
they're basically shutting their offense down in the second half of games. So I think he's pretty comfortable where he is. But listen, I'm not going to begrudge him if Penn State comes calling and says, we want to make you our next head coach. It's a blue blood job. You got to take it.
Yeah.
Agreed. Stormy, thank you so much for being a longstanding OG member of the College Football Mafia family. We appreciate you. It's great to see you on a Friday night. Conundrum always comes in with opinions. We appreciate you, Conundrum, being here tonight. I need some duck recipes for tomorrow night. So does Iowa shock the world and beat Oregon tomorrow?
I sure hope so.
Did you pick them? I haven't looked at my picks again. I
picked Oregon, but I want Iowa to win.
Yeah.
It's in Iowa at night. That is a scary place to be.
But can Iowa score enough points? I mean, I'm not saying Oregon's defense is like last year was the year for Oregon to win a national championship. I'm sorry. Moving forward, it is not going to be the same with NIL and transfer portal. That's just my opinion. But I think Oregon's in real trouble. But can Iowa score enough points? I think that's why I think I took Oregon.
Man, like it's funny how like the narrative around Oregon's changed so quick. You know, when they got that Penn State win, about a month and a half ago and stuff, like they're like the number one team of the nation almost, right? They've only lost one game.
But they got boat raced at home.
I just, I know it's like Indiana's hot though, right?
Indiana's very, very good.
I think that Oregon's a better team than we're thinking, and I think they win this game pretty comfortably. But I hope I'm wrong.
Okay. All right. Moving right along. Go Huskies in the house. Good to see you, Go Huskies. Valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Is this Becky?
No, Becky is Becky. Go Huskies.
That's what I thought. Okay. Just wanted to be clear. Go Huskies. Thank you so much for being a member of the College Football Mafia family. We appreciate you. Iowa's going to upset Oregon. There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
Can't believe a Huskies fan would say that.
MBM, where have you been? Here's a guy who's been missing in action. It's good to see you, MBM. I think being a Chicago Bears fan is easier than being a fan of
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State.
I'm not. You guys said it. I did not say that. Not a lot of wild in that Ute background.
Hey, you can see that wild right here. Look at that.
Hey, listen. I got no room to talk. The Bears beat the Bengals. And one of the weirdest scoregami games that ever was.
What was the final score?
46-42, I think.
That is scoregami.
It is weird. It was a weird game. I mean, like
that's
the
like
game started off with
something.
A kick return touchdown. It was a weird game. It was a weird game. But I mean, God, Joe Flacco for MVP. What can I say?
Has there, and I'll get to, sorry, let me get to this one other comment from MBM. He says, it would be funny if Clemson got left out of the Super League despite Dabo's comments. Quickly, let's address this. I think Dabo's in real trouble. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I'm on record.
Seems
I
like
think
the program's
he's in real
lost
trouble.
all its juice. Like this was the year and stuff where they're going to get that juice back.
They were.
I get it. They got to the playoff last year. They weren't competitive versus Texas, but they had so much more momentum a decade ago. They won championships. It seems to be trending down, been that way for a while. And it just seems like NIL is a serious issue at Clemson too, guys. Like we haven't heard that, but like what's with all the squawking if it's not? Like,
well,
it
we're not
seems like
hearing
a big
anything
time
about
issue.
Clemson.
Yeah.
Right?
NIL is an
Isn't that
issue at Clemson. I think we
Yeah,
can say that, right?
It's like the lack of information is what's remarkable, right? If Clemson was on top, you'd be hearing from Clemson fans.
And the fact that Dabo hasn't really wanted to go to the portal and wanted to get the high school kids, that's more indication that like NIL might be a problem for them, right? Because the transfer portal kids are expensive.
Clemson
And so
not
if
playing
they just
in
don't have the
NIL.
funds there from the boosters and everything, that'd be really interesting. Clemson, man, they don't want to be bad now. Not now.
This is the
not
worst
the
time
time to do it. Yeah, you do not want to take a step back now because, I mean, Clemson's not AAU. They're contingent upon football. The SEC has South Carolina and State. Like, this is not the time to be bad for Clemson.
The Ute coming heavy. Everything you just said, I 100% agree with. Moen, what do you think about Dabo?
I'm not going to be a doomsayer like you guys. I don't think it's absolute doom. Still, how many people are coaching in college football who have won a national championship?
So I think it's 3, isn't it?
I think it's 3. It's Dabo Sweeney, Ryan Day, and Kirby at Georgia.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's.
I thought it was 3.
So I mean, listen, he obviously knows how to coach, but I think he's probably in the same camp that Nick Saban was in. He doesn't understand NIL, and there were probably people within that program, boosters within that program, that he might have been oblivious to that were paying players.
Yeah, maybe that's possible. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, you got to sort of, Trevor Lawrence.
Well, I mean, you can go all the way back to Deshaun Watson and that era. I mean,
yeah, it's true.
Hopkins.
Yeah, right. Hopkins. Oh my gosh, somebody we forget about. Yes, exactly. You're exactly. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think I love Clemson as a brand. In the 80s, they were so fun to watch. I loved watching Clemson football, but I think they are in real trouble. And you've got issues when your coach is blaming referees for being referees. At the end of the day, what are you going to do?
Clemson was like a high-end development program. They'd get these elite 4 and 5 stars and make them super elite, right?
Yes,
that's what Dabo did. Like, they had talent, and they even rose that talent, the cream, even higher. And like in today's world, there's just no development, guys. Like, you come in, you better be playing day one, because guess what? If you're at a school and like you do develop, then you're going to be jumping for the bag. That's life true. Now. Like, your backup quarterback, they come in and have a good game and stuff, they might get a bag somewhere else. Like, it's year to year, it's game to game. And so the idea of development programs is gone.
I disagree fully with
Who's
that.
Who's developing? Give me an example.
Ohio State is developing players. Jeremiah Smith came in ready to play.
Because you've got bags,
but man. Jeremiah Smith went from great to really great. Carnell Tate. You look at Carnell Tate, what Carnell Tate has done. It's not about preparing kids to play in college football anymore. It's about preparing kids to play in the pros. I think there are programs that are willing to do that. Ohio State, Texas, Alabama, Georgia. These programs are immediately telling these kids, they're going to their living room, your dream to play in the NFL, we're preparing you for the NFL. Look at our last level of draft picks at your position. Let's get in here. We've got a coach that's ready to prepare you. We've got NFL experienced coaches. I mean, Hartline played in the NFL. You've got James Laurinaitis at linebacker coach. He played in the NFL. You get all these guys with NFL experience, and you tell these kids, hey, we're not going to develop you to play in college. You're just going to play in college. We're developing you for.
No, I don't think that's what you was saying. I don't think that's not what you was saying.
I'm just saying it's a different developmental system.
You have G6, you have lower A4, you have national championship blue blood A4, and you have NFL. I mean, and each one takes from the other. And it's easy to say Ohio State develops players because nobody's going to take them from them. So,
well, yeah, like, and if you don't have the cash, then they're not coming there. Like, it's not just like, hey, I'm going to go there to get developed without getting the bag too. You have to have the bag in order to have the luxury of developing. Like,
listen, Jeremiah Smith was offered more money by Miami, and he chose to go to Ohio State.
Okay, and that's fair. That's fair. Do we think Miami develops players? Who thinks that?
Not wide receivers, not the way Ohio State does.
I don't think Miami develops anybody. That's their problem. They're willing to bring them in, and they can't coach them up. I think that's Miami's problem.
It's a pro system now. College football is a pro system. So
yeah. You gotta win. You gotta win some games. All right, quickly, let's get to some super chats because we got to get to Kit. There's just too much going on.
Yeah, there's
tonight.
A lot of stuff to come.
Stormy Cyclone, $5 super chat. Thank you again, Stormy. Well, I'll get the super chat started. I dare you to follow. Thank you so much, Stormy. And on that note, Moen, what is the goal for tonight?
We're gonna do a little overtime, and I will tell you what the Wizard had to say about Big Ten realignment. And for those who don't know, the Wizard is the same gentleman who told me about Oregon and Washington negotiating with the Big Ten before they joined the Big Ten. Well before they joined the Big Ten, months before they joined the Big Ten. You can verify that fact with Greg Pflugar. I encourage you to do that. It is out there. The Wizard had something to say on conference realignment, and I'll share it if we hit our goal.
All right, let's go. I want to hear
intel that nobody else knows from the Wizard.
Nobody else knows this.
The Wizard.
The opinion of the Wizard.
And you're only going to reveal it if we go into overtime?
If we only go into overtime. We don't have time to do it on the regular show.
Okay, you better put it in our team chat because I won't be here at that point. So I want to know what this Wizard says. All of a sudden, we have a new source called the Wizard. I don't give away nicknames easy, so he's gonna have to earn my respect before I call him.
It's an inside joke. It's an inside joke between.
Okay, I was gonna say because. Yeah, all right. Becky,
he's not a real wizard, guys. Okay, guys, so you broke me down. He's not a real wizard. Okay.
There is Becky Go. There is Becky Go. He's right on count. 20 months been around. We hang her on her. We appreciate Becky. Thank you so much for all your hard work for us. Wisconsin plays the real UW. Well, okay. We know who that is. Washington playing the.
I also owe Stormy Cyclone one. You know what it is, guys? It's November, and you know what time it means.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
What is that? What is that?
It's from WKRP in Cincinnati.
I know that show.
The Great Turkey Drop.
I think. Yeah. Okay. Becky Go Huskies, $5 super chat says Washington tells kids it's about. Washington tells kids it's about being a pro. If they want it, Washington wants to develop them. So,
you guys, of course there's development, but I'm saying there's a baseline of having a certain dollar amount before they consider development. Basically, step one of the ladder is the money. Step two is development. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and keeping them around. You can even give them the money for 1 year. That's even more money just to have them stick around for the next year. That's where development comes. That used to come from 4-year programs. It's free agency now every year. Just say it out loud. It is what it is. All right, Moen. We've got a big green thing here that says you have gifted 5 College Football Mafia memberships tonight. Who got those members? By the way, we got a bunch of people watching us live. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Stormy Cyclone dared us to follow suit. I followed suit. We have gifted 5 new members to the College Football Mafia family. Those memberships went to Trent Brown, Nebraska Rascal, Dakota Johnston, VC Knoll. Good to see events. And
good
Jay
to see events.
Chapman. That gives you access to our new members only section. You can check out all our members only content. In addition, we've got a new members only video, Big Money Markets with the Moen Confidential, tackling the Bay Area, Salt Lake City. I don't know if you've watched it yet. Very interesting about Salt Lake City. In Tempe, Phoenix, for Arizona State and Arizona. Definitely something you should check out. And I made part 1 public this evening. So you guys can go back and watch part 1, even if you're not a member, and see how well it worked out for Duke, Georgia Tech, Miami, and Florida State.
All righty. Good job, Moen. Let's do a quick couple sounders in there before we get to our picks.
Well, you want to hit the super chat first, then I'll have a reason to.
Is there another one? Oh my gosh! Out of nowhere, there's MBM again, representing Chicago Bears, but obviously Oklahoma State Cowboys. We appreciate you, MBM.
Can we just admire one thing for MBM?
Sure.
Look how good the super chat blends with that Bears logo. It looks like it's actually meant to be.
That's true.
That's amazing, MBM.
Pick the right color.
Thank you.
Seriously. Development equals massaging muscles with money. Ooh, there's a nice. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. All
Speaking
right,
of
go ahead.
Deshaun Watson,
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, geez, that's bad. That's really
come on,
bad.
now he set that up.
You can only
set
say that.
up.
You can only say that because you're a Cincinnati fan. That's the only reason I allow that. If you were a fan
I
of
know
like
it
New
is.
York
It's
Jets or
like
something,
you're
I
so
wouldn't allow it.
awful. It's so you're downtrodden as a Bengals fan, but then the Cleveland Browns say, "Hold
And then
my
you have
beer."
Cleveland in the same state. I just
Yeah,
don't know.
absolutely.
All right, okay. Now you can do a couple sounders. Go ahead.
Okay, let's do his little.
I love that. Let's go, Cartman. I love it.
Student athletes. Oh, that is brilliant, sir.
Those are.
Guys, I
right,
got
so-
a question for MBM. Who's Oklahoma State going to hire? Because like there's been some chirping stuff that Oklahoma State's interested in some assistant Big 12 coaches.
Man,
Like
talking
seriously,
about
like,
programs that have been down in the worst time in the history of college football. Oklahoma State could not. I mean, you might argue that Washington State and Oregon State are in that list, but Oklahoma State could not have picked a worse time in world history to be down in football.
well, they're in at least, right? They're in the conference, so
Well, sure, they're not. I don't think they're going anywhere.
going
but
anywhere.
Yeah. But 3 years ago, if I remember right, and you correct me right, but I think 3 years ago when we started this whole thing, Oklahoma State was pretty high. I mean, Oklahoma State was one of those brands that we were saying, okay, this call could be coming anytime, and now.
Well, according to the Navigate figures from 2 years ago, Oklahoma State was the 20th best brand to watch on TV for TV ratings.
Yeah.
Like, it's they've got a big enough fan base at Oklahoma State that rebounds quick. They just need to get a new coach and get the boosters to fund the program. And once they're back, their fan base is going to watch all the games. Get a ton of viewership.
I like Oklahoma State, so I'm a fan. I always have. So. Moen, you want to say anything before we move along?
Get you guys yourself a good running back, because that's usually what Oklahoma State thrives on, is getting that outstanding running back who can get downhill and start churning. So,
I will say, this is the problem now. The old Big 12 didn't play a lot of defense. Let's be perfectly honest.
That's true. They didn't
not
play any defense.
And right now, there's arguably 3 of the top 22 defenses in all of America are in the Big 12.
Yeah.
So you got it, and it's completely flipped. It is a completely different conference. It's not the old Big 12. I think the CFP shows that, and that's not just because it's an overreaction, like I tend to believe it is anyway. I think this is because the Big 12 is now built on beef. We're talking teams that can hold the line of scrimmage, offense, defense, strong linebackers, have the quickest of quick athletes on the edges. And Utah, BYU, and Texas Tech have absolutely proved that.
Well, check this out. Just to support that point, like Utah had to re-strategize their defensive back recruiting this last year because of year one of the Big 12. The physicality is greater in the Big 12 than it was in the Pac-12. 100%.
And you've changed your mind. You've changed your mind on that.
It has changed my mind, but it's exactly what you're talking about. The beef's down there, but even like on the edges, your cornerbacks have to be bigger, taller, and more physicality too. Like, when you're playing man coverage out there. So you really have to build and construct a roster that competes in the Big 12. Like, it's interesting conference to conference, how you have to customize your roster, right, to compete.
I could not agree with you more. And I did try to warn you. Just to defend.
Well, I mean, in the history, it wasn't that. It wasn't.
But after I had been in it the first year with BYU, I saw something completely different. So, one last comment from MBM. The names I've heard for Oklahoma State are what everyone else has heard: Zach Robb, Golish, and then the University of North Texas coach. So many openings right now. It could be anyone. If you're picking a coach and you can go anywhere, how far down on that list is Oklahoma State? I guess that's the question.
I mean, it depends. Like, Zach Robinson's going to have a priority for Oklahoma State because he went there. And so you want to bring somebody that has a history with your program That's the first name on MBM's list right there. That's the one name that everybody wants. I mean, like, hopefully that's who the Pokes get.
Listen, I'm going to put it out here. Golish is the guy. I don't know if you guys watched any of that USF UTSA game.
I saw reports after.
It was ridiculous. There was one point, I believe USF was up 45, and they'd only run 13 offensive plays.
Yeah, the first 2 touchdowns were a fumble return?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So, I mean, I'm sure Golish is probably still on that Florida list, but man, if Florida, isn't willing to pick him up and he's ready to move up, Oklahoma State, from people I've talked to at Ohio State, he was very well regarded. So,
very good. All right, let's get to our picks. Last week was week 10. I cannot believe it's week 11 already. Football's going to be gone, and my life is going to end. All right, I was 50%. You were down 1. Last week was bad for everybody. Yeah, look at that. I mean, the top is Becky at 6-4. These picks are getting way more difficult because the teams are a lot closer in talent and skill, and that does not surprise me. Does anything surprise you guys about those picks and results?
No, that picking against the spread is a 50-50 proposition.
It really is.
Let me put this out here. Games where we picked where it was just overwhelmingly everybody picking one team.
Yeah.
Lost.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
For example, Rock was the only one who took Florida over Georgia. Everybody else took Georgia. Georgia lost that because of the point spread. Everybody took Miami over SMU. We all lost that bet. So we may be picking these things that these are overwhelming. They're not. They're really not, because they could be a loss. So maybe just picking with the majority isn't necessarily the right thing to do.
Well, I can tell you right now, Daniel always picks first. Every week in our group, he always picks first, and I never look. In fact, you and I are always last to get our picks in, and I never look at them. And 95% of the time now, it seems like I'm just following along with what Daniel's already picked. So what that's telling me is that we're all trending to do exactly what you're saying, Moen. Subconsciously, we're picking games, even against the spread, where we think these differences are larger than they are now, a lot more marginal. That's how I look at it.
But if you want to make a move on the top, you're going to have to start making some counterintuitive picks.
I know. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Okay, here we go. And just to, boy, look at this. I mean, this is sick how we've done this. Okay, let's start at the top. Tulane plus 6.5 at Memphis. I took Memphis. You guys took Tulane. You guys believe in Jake Retzlaff. I'm not sure what that's about, but tell me why Tulane wins this game.
Because they've got points.
6.5 is a
points.
Touchdown?
Yeah, it's going to be a close game, 3-point game. I think that Tulane keeps it close. I think Retzlaff keeps them in it. I think Tulane could win it too. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. So, green wave, baby.
Yeah, Memphis quarterback issues. Their quarterback might not play tomorrow. We don't know yet. He's questionable. Second thing is, we saw that Ryan Silverfield report come out last night.
It was a rumor.
It was a rumor that he was going to have a meeting and that he was taking the Arkansas job. And he was going to let his team go. If there's any truth to that rumor, what do these kids have to play for anymore? Unless he's telling them, saying, "Hey, if you play really well, maybe I'll take you in the transfer portal." I mean,
well, there are examples of that, right? Coaches moving up and taking entire teams with them.
Sure, so, absolutely. But I would just say this: that it's very hard for me. If you're a coach, I don't begrudge you taking a better job, but you've got to take it at the end of the season. You dance with who brought you.
There are rare exceptions to that rule, I think, but I agree.
Well, listen, I'm just saying, if I'm playing for Memphis and my coach comes in and tells me mid-season or late season, I'm taking another job next year, why would you play for that coach?
But why would he say that? Why would you say that, though?
But that's why I don't know why he would say that.
Yeah, I don't know either. We don't know if that's a true. Like I said, that
right. That's a rumor, but it's out there. I mean,
You're right.
That's got to lead me to
said it last
question
night.
Memphis's, the kids on Memphis is wanting to play, and
There's no doubt about it.
Tulane 6.5. You're right. I think it's a close game.
I remember I told everybody at the beginning BYU would not really miss Jake, wish Jake Retzlaff success down the road, but I also said he's going to cost them at least 2 games, and I think this is the game.
This is number 2.
I do. I believe it is. I think this is the game that he throws the fade that doesn't work. He tries to throw to the tight end, and he gets picked off by a linebacker. Just we can talk Monday or Sunday night, but that's my opinion. All right, let's quickly move through some of these games. We all took Indiana minus 14.5 Penn State. We all think Penn State has quit on their coach. They have really nothing to play for the rest of this year. You guys want to say anything about Penn State? Can we move on?
Just imagine a couple of years ago saying what we are picking right here.
It's crazy.
Indiana at Penn State is a 14.5 point favorites, and every single person in the college football mafia took Indiana on points.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess unbelievable, guys.
Here's my thinking on this. Last week, Jim Knowles decided to play man coverage against Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis. If he plays man coverage against Surratt and the receivers on the Indiana team, they're going to blow him out. They're just going to blow him out. So if he was stupid enough to do it last week, maybe he'll be stupid enough to do it this week.
All right. Colorado getting 6.5 at West Virginia. We all took West Virginia. Talk about a team who just, and Fergie, bless your soul. I don't, can anybody, Becky took Colorado, but I think that's trying to be counterintuitive. Do they even have a chance on the road here?
No. They don't have a chance on the road.
Okay, if we can move along then.
I think they have a chance, but it's going to be based on the points only. And West Virginia, it depends on which West Virginia shows up, because we saw West Virginia show up against Houston and look like world beaters, and then we've seen them show up and just look terrible. So which West Virginia shows up, they're the bipolar team of this season. So
I think Rich Rod's he's starting to figure it out, though. He's starting to put it together. And I think West Virginia is going to finish strong. But
at what point do you consider firing Prime?
I don't think
this football team's such a cluster. This is a horrible football team, and it's moving in the wrong direction. Recruiting's not great. It's not looking good. This program is falling to where they were before in the Pac-12.
Well, they just fired the offensive coordinator that we all knew was bad 2 years ago. So who knows where they go, but I don't think there's no way they have the political muscle to sell or to fire Prime. There's no way. Could you imagine let's look at it the other way. If they fire him, which is worse, keeping him or firing him? I think firing him arguably would be a 10x multiplier bad. Because now you've said, you've given away 3 years of your school, and now so much money to Prime.
He brings the eyeballs, but he is a very bad football coach, guys. I think we need to call that out. He's a great football player, not a good coach. Yeah. Recruiting's not great. It's trending so bad right now with his health issues. That's not good.
Why would you fire him? Why would you fire?
Why?
Do you hate money?
Because you're going nowhere. What's going to happen next year?
Yeah, but you get money. You get.
What do you mean? So Colorado's getting all this money now, Bowen? Is that come from the media rights? Where's this money?
Merchandising, all the things that come with that.
I'm not seeing too many people in Colorado
in the stands. There's people in the stands.
Is it?
Are there still?
There's still people in the stands.
Is it? Okay.
Again, who's got the best ratings in the Big 12?
It's Iowa State.
Yeah, it's going down, Moen.
It's falling, Moen.
It's still nothing compared to what Colorado was in their heyday.
So if we say 0 is where the lowest point before Dion came, and you say 100 is the highest of high, is it possible for it to go to -10?
No.
Because if not, then there's no reason to fire him. You can't do worse.
Well, you've already named it. He's got health issues.
He does. He could retire.
And that gives him the out. He can retire. Right. Why would you fire him and take all that bad publicity of firing a cancer survivor the year after he gets done with fighting
Ugh.
cancer when you
That's
can
bad.
continue to print money and let him stay there.
I'm not sure
And
they're paying money, Mike Mullen. They're paying him a lot of money.
I
Like, that
understand
coaching
they're paying
staff's
him a lot of money, and
expensive.
they're getting a lot in
For
return
not
for
many
it.
wins, for being the worst team in the conference, maybe. Like,
They had a
I'm
Heisman
telling you,
Trophy
like, what
winner
they-
last year. They had a Heisman
Yeah,
Trophy
like-
winner at Colorado last year.
He had two guys that came over with him, but he hasn't been able to recruit anybody else. It was his
Well,
son, his
yeah,
his
still.
buddy.
Well, that's actually not true though, Ute. He got the 5-star QB out of California,
Right.
right? That just hasn't had a chance to really, he's not Bear Bachmeier.
Let me ask you guys a question: Is it
Okay.
going to turn around for Colorado ever? We're under the prime era now.
I do not think so.
Exactly.
That's my opinion. I do not think so.
It's going to be dependent on if he can figure out how to hire a coordinator. Pat
Or
Shermer
he
is
stays
not
healthy.
the guy. So
Or his health is the easiest.
I
out.
think he's made bad decisions at coordinator hires, especially, and that's just he's an inexperienced head coach. I think you're right. That just showcases that he's an inexperienced head coach. But
I think the hire that it's one thing to pick a pro coordinator to come in and be a coordinator. That's one thing, but to hire Warren Sapp to be a personality, but not a defensive line coach, because honestly, he is terrible at his job. Warren Sapp cannot coach those guys up.
Right, and I think
So-
that shows his inexperience.
But he hasn't learned. He's been doing it for 2 years, and they're not. They're
he only been doing it for
arguably
2
going
years in the
backwards.
big leagues. I mean, again, this
Yeah.
is not a
Year
Luke
3 in
Fickle
prime.
situation where he has not shown any flashes. I mean, they had a Heisman Trophy winner last year. They probably
Yes.
had their best season, and
They did.
you would have to go back to
boat
Coach
raced
Mack.
at the end of the season. And
Yeah, they won like 8 or 9 games last year, right?
Yeah, they're 9-4. Okay, all right. Let's keep going. That was 15 minutes of my life I want back. Okay, Texas A&M -7.5 at Mizzou. You took Mizzou and the points.
These teams know each other well from back in the Big 12 days. Mizzou plays Texas A&M tough. It's at Mizzou. I realize that their starting quarterback has been injured, but I still think it's too many points. I think Mizzou gives them a heck of a football game and maybe pulls the upset.
Really, you're actually calling it upset alert? Wow. Okay. Moen, you and I took Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I think Tamu is very, very good this year.
Not a chance. Mizzou is still on their backup quarterback. Give me Texas A&M all day.
Okay.
14 plus points I would take.
Man, I love these picks, man. Oregon, yeah, see, I did take Oregon. Giving 6.5 to Iowa, and I've already said at the top, the reason I took Oregon is it's not so much about Oregon as it is I don't think Iowa can score enough points to cover that spread, so that's where my choice is. All three of us took Oregon. Let's see here. Who was the first? It was Rock, actually. It was the first one on the list, at least. And Becky and Pickles all took Iowa. I think that's more picking against Oregon than it is picking Iowa. What do you guys think?
Definitely.
Well, Nate, I think you want to really clarify your statement. You don't think Iowa's offense can
But what did
score
I say?
enough
I
points.
apologize. What
You
did I
said
say?
Iowa in general. I think their special teams and their defense can score points. But the thing
That's
is,
fair.
they have no freaking offense. Their
Yeah, okay,
offense is,
That's what I mean.
you know.
Yes, you're right.
I don't even know if you've got a jug machine and put it out there if Iowa could score points.
How is this possible?
Their
Every
offense is
year they have
terrible.
a top 20 defense and a top 10 special teams, and they cannot. This just blows me away. How you have these schools that simply cannot do both sides of the ball. It's
Yeah,
been
Frank
years
Beamer-
we're talking. Years.
Frank Beamer retired, but apparently his spirit is haunting the sidelines at Iowa because
hanging.
it reminds
over.
me of Beamer ball. It's, hey, we'll try and score points on special teams and hang our hat on defense. But hey, look, they held Indiana to 20 points. So I mean, you've got to give them credit. They lost that
I
game
do.
15-20. You got to give Iowa some credit there. My thing is, how many special teams points is Oregon going to give up? I
Not
think there's
many.
just way too much talent.
I think Oregon could use this as a prove it game because I think a
Yeah,
lot of
they
people
have
are
to.
picking against
Yeah.
Oregon right now.
They
They're
have to.
number
They
9.
slipped. Yeah.
They were 6. They slipped to 9 in the CFP. I think Oregon right now, all of a sudden, and for the first time in maybe decades, finally has a chip on their shoulder. And we might see a different Oregon, maybe, finish out this season. It is possible.
I can see Oregon win this game by 21, guys.
Yeah, there's definitely
if Oregon gets up on them early, this game's over. Like if they get up on them 10-0, the game's over.
Yeah,
maybe 7-0.
Yeah. 7.
I mean, like seriously, a 6.5 point line. Like, how's Iowa going to score?
Yeah, I
mean, it could get this game could get ugly. I'm telling you, everyone's picking that as an upset. Don't see it at all.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just picking against Oregon. No, I'm not. What did I say? I'm picking against Iowa's offense. Houston. This was an interesting pick, I thought. Moen, you took Houston and UCF. 1.5 points, and then you took UCF. This when I saw this pick, for one thing, what are we doing picking Houston UCF? For another thing, I can only imagine you've got like some quadrangle betting situation going on that involves UCF that you just wanted to put this up here so we talked about this game.
I did not put any money on UCF this weekend.
Okay, so
for one, how dare you besmirch the Big 12? We're trying to give Big 12 representation on this.
Come on, you got to do it seriously though, man. You can't.
Houston and UCF. Listen, it's a 1.5. This is a money line game. Houston was the hot team a couple weeks ago until West Virginia went in there and showed them up. And look, everybody took Houston except Moen, and Moen knows one thing: the bounce house, baby, bounced house, and that's what I'm counting on. It's at the bounce house. I see UCF winning this with a late field goal.
Okay, all right, Ute.
I mean, UCF don't have much faith in that program. I think that Houston had a really bad game versus West Virginia because everything that was going on in that program. Their strength training coach had passed away from cancer a couple days before. There's a lot that went into that. I think that they win this game big. But I want to point something else out, guys. I'm serious about that. I think that UCF's the luckiest staying team in realignment. I don't think they have any business being in the Big 12 conference. If you look at their ratings, they're absolutely dreadful. They're horrible. Like, this team is an American team. They shouldn't even be in the Big 12. I think they're a joke. I'm done with it.
I'm going to let that stand. We're going to move right along. Florida State. Here's another game on the ACC network, which you can't get on YouTube TV. So literally 5 people will be watching this game tomorrow. Again, Moen, what?
Again,
preseason.
ACC.
I know, but
preseason.
Here
we go. Let me
get this out. Preseason, this was a top 5, maybe top 10 game. Okay, we're now week 11, and this, even Clemson and Florida State people are saying, and Vince is here tonight. I feel so bad for Florida State. I just
goals.
Anyway. Listen, I took Clemson at home. You guys took
Florida State.
And I'm a fan of Florida State, so it's more about the whole picture than it is about this team.
1, you need ACC representation. 2, the storyline. You're right. We all picked Clemson or Florida State.
Yeah.
To be top of the ACC this year.
Miami.
Yeah. It's week. Regardless, we had those. I think that was a pretty much consensus. Those 3 were in the top 3.
It was.
There's 2 of them in week 11 playing on the ACC network for nothing. I think Clemson maybe needs a win to get bowl eligible. Maybe.
No, aren't they 3? They're 3 and 5, right?
Okay. So they can still get bowl eligible.
Me. I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but they can still get bowl eligible.
I think they're 3 and 5.
So here we go. This is a storyline pick.
Okay.
Florida State, I think they look damn good against Wake Forest. I think if that Florida State shows up and plays Clemson, they can win. If the other Florida State shows up, they're going to lose.
Florida State beat Alabama now, baby.
Yeah,
don't be talking bad about Florida
They absolutely did. They beat Alabama. Yeah. Can't deny that. But they've also lost some games they definitely should not have lost.
Right.
You want to say? I mean, you picked
Florida State's going to win this football game, and I have to imagine that it's kind of shocking with the whole brand initiative stuff that Florida State and Clemson pushed about, like, the viewership piece of this, and then this premier game is getting like on ACC network, non-Nelson rated. My goodness gracious, They could never have imagined anything this bad. Like having this game as non-Nelson rated when you're wanting extra money in the future and this is going to contribute to the brand initiative, that's mind-blowing. But Knowles win this game.
It'll be interesting to see if Wake Forest makes more money off of the brand initiative next year. I'm dead serious. Than Clemson might make.
I mean, Florida State had that Bama game, so they're going to have big numbers for that one. But I haven't looked at ACC numbers recently to see who's leading the pack.
Well, nobody else
Miami,
has either.
sure.
Nobody else has either. So you're not the only one. That's why the highest ranked. Moen, you said earlier, well, people are what we got to have ACC representation. Well, according to the CFP, there is no ACC representation until you get to 14 after a 2-loss Utah. Come on now. I mean, the ACC has maybe never been down this bad in popular culture, and I'm being dead serious about that.
Maybe.
So we'll see. LSU getting 9.5 at Alabama. I have no faith in LSU, and I wanted to weeks ago, but Rock took LSU maybe as just a counter pick, like Mullen mentioned earlier. What? Anybody defend LSU here?
They're just not very good. Brian Kelly's gone. Roll Tide, baby, at Alabama.
Yeah, it's at Alabama. It's in Tuscaloosa. LSU has not shown me the ability to beat anybody this year. They've had some lucky wins, but they just really haven't shown me the ability. Alabama, man. I mean, after that first week loss, Kalen DeBoer, I mean, he took that shit and he made it personal, and he has got these guys playing. They may be one of the best 3 teams in America right now.
KDB has turned it around, and there's absolutely no doubt about it. He's got these guys finally playing for something. We'll have to see. Right now, what are they, 5th or 6th ahead of BYU and Texas Tech? So, let's see here. Next one is Navy. Every time you just make me laugh, Moen. Navy 26.5 at Notre Dame, and I am going with Navy, baby. I'm a Service Academy guy. You took Navy as well.
Notre Dame wins this game 100%. There's no way Navy pulls the upset. I'm just hoping it's close, and this is more of a hope pick. It's a tough one. It's a 50-50 pick, even with this huge line. I just think Notre Dame wins, but I don't know. Let's go, baby. Big 12 needs Navy to win, so
we do. It's true.
Hope eternal.
You and I are on the same page. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the reason right there. Let's be honest about it.
Well, and Moen, I'm going to tee you up for this. Notre Dame has something to prove. They've come out of all of a sudden they've woken up in social media. They're totally dogging on BYU because in the first CFP they were traveling to Provo as a 10 seed. And now all of a sudden Notre Dame's looking around going, who's this BYU group? Tell everybody why Notre Dame gets this done.
Well, I don't think Notre Dame thinks about BYU at all, Bomber. I'm sorry. They're Notre Dame.
What I just said. That's what I just said.
That's their Notre Dame. And I think they're number 10. They realize that, and I think they're going to blow as many points out their ass as they can to try and make it seem like it's justifiable. It's not, but to make it seem justifiable, I could see them beating Navy by 38 points.
Whoa, snap.
Navy, unfortunately, that loss they had 2 weeks ago, they looked terrible in it, and they looked like they had no answers. Give me Notre Dame. Give me 38 points. I would still take it. I think Notre Dame really goes out there. It's at Notre Dame too, but I think they really go out there and they just lay belts to asses on Navy.
Okay. There's a lot of teams that want to prove where they're at right now. Notre Dame's number 1. Utah's number 2. And then you get to the ACCs. It's prove why we're here. Prove the world wrong. They hate us. Let's go. And Navy's number 1 in the world history of doing that. So, all right. Last game, and this is absolutely the best game of the weekend. There's no doubt about it. And it's early. Everybody's heard me talk about it a lot over the week and in a few shows and stuff. I'm going to go last. Moen first. Let's talk Texas Tech BYU. It's 10.5 points. That line has gone up and down a half point throughout the week. I think it's back at 10.5. So you're essentially talking about a 35-23 win, something like this. You took Texas Tech. What are you thinking here?
I'm thinking it comes down to the line play, and I think Texas Tech's defensive line is better than BYU's offensive line.
Okay.
That's simple. I think they get after Bear Bachmeier. I think they make it uncomfortable for him. I think they make him want to scramble. You keep a quarterback spy in the backfield there, and you shut him down. You don't let him scramble on you. And I think you take that away from Bear Bachmeier. I think he gets really uncomfortable, and I think Texas Tech wins this by 2 touchdowns.
All right, very good. Ute.
This is the biggest perception program game for the BYU Cougars that I can ever think of. Seriously, like the narrative over the last few years has been like this Cougar team's been kind of the underdogs, right? Like, and even looking at the spread for this game, BYU's undefeated. They're 10.5-point dogs. Like, they're still in the national eyes a little bit of a disrespect for the Cougars, and there has been for years. I think you could agree with that, Nate. So
sure,
I think
absolutely.
that perception for the program for today and in the future is on the line in this game. If BYU comes out and wins this football game, that perception is going to flip on its head. I promise you. So this is a big perception game. This is also the biggest game that Texas Tech has maybe ever played. Like, the game days down there, they're so juiced and everything. People have been camping out for days. It's going to be an environment that's absolutely wacko, insane. Bear Bachmeier's been great. Like, shockingly, weirdly great as a true freshman. Can that last all year long? Maybe, but I just am not betting on that. I think that finally Tech gets up early, makes BYU chase. They've got a better defense than Iowa State did with the crowd and everything else. I think it's just going to be a little bit too big of an environment for Bear Bachmeier. And I can see Texas Tech win this game by 17.
Okay. I completely respect you guys' opinions, and your analysis is absolutely the national narrative. There's no doubt about it. I just want to make this comment before I put up this tweet that I did earlier today. Daniel taking BYU here pisses me off because I cannot get away from him. I cannot get away from him. I mean, all of his picks are my picks. It's like, Daniel, leave me alone. It's like he's in my head. I absolutely hate it. Okay, so this is my tweet, and I stand by this. And there was a couple other things I didn't add to it that I want to make sure that I make known. Okay, first of all, here's my tweet, and this is my show, so I get to do stuff like this. You can follow along and everything else. This was following off of a BYU TV little short they did, but this is where I think the keys to the game are, and this is how I think BYU wins. And I left a few out, and I'm going to bring them in. If BYU wins the turnover margin, I think that's number one. If they can keep it to 10 points or less at halftime, Jay Hill, best defensive coordinator, make adjustments in the country, in my opinion. 3, the over under 51. You and I have talked. If you can keep the opponent below 26, 27, BYU can win. That's where that 51 points comes from. If BYU can rush for 135 yards, that's something else. Usually it's 150. Texas Tech's defense against the run is number 1 in the country, and the most anybody's rushed against them was last week Kansas State, and they got 123 yards, I think is what Kurt said. So if they can get to 135, BYU's doing work. If they give up less than 4 sacks, that's something else. Utah, I think, gave up 5 or 4 or 5. I can't remember what that line is. Do you remember how many times they got to Dampier? It might have been actually.
I think that like, you got to keep in mind that game Dampier had a bum ankle. He was 50%. Bachmeier's 100%, right? I'm like, Moan, I'm not trying to like disqualify that, but I'm just trying to do the analysis here.
Well,
so,
that was what
Dampier
they said after the game.
In that game,
yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, like they almost benched him. Like if Bachmeier's 100%, I think it's going to be there's not going to be quite as much issue with that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. And I agree with you. I think you're right. Let's see. LJ Martin is back. We don't know how back he is. But if he gets more than one rushing touchdown, that's another key. I didn't bring up special teams. I think BYU special teams is better than Texas Tech special teams. The entire team, I think they got a kicker that can hit plus 55. He might kick a few field goals this game. If Tech gets up more than 14, what you said, I think, is going to hold true. It's going to be very difficult for BYU to chase it. Keep it to 10 points, and we're talking about something completely different, in my opinion. And the last thing I want to bring up is this game is at 11 a.m. local. Okay, I realize kids are jammed up. They've been sitting in tents for a week, all these other things to get into the game. People are partying tonight in Lubbock. They haven't had this type of atmosphere and attention since 2007. Michael Crabtree, is that the year? You guys can correct me. It was a long time ago. No, it was 2004. I can't remember, but it was ages ago, like whole generation ago. And people are out partying tonight. Are they going to be up and going?
They're going to be partying all night and during that game. I promise you, Nate, that ain't going to be an issue.
Okay, you say that. Yeah. We will find out. And the last thing I'll say is that stadium is not built for sound. It's flatter. And it doesn't get as loud as some of the other. I think Iowa State might have been louder. So we will have to find out, but those are my keys of the game. You guys have any comments about those?
What's the one thing that's going to be would be the kiss of death for the Cougars in the game? What's the one thing that'd be like the loss? Like no matter,
I think
if you see it
Kansas State. Yeah, Kansas State had like 3 or 4 turnovers, and they were in the game for 3 quarters. I think it does come down to defense, turnovers. That has to be number one, in my opinion. BYU's plus 10, Texas Tech's plus 8. So they both turn the ball over, but Tech is the most physical team outside of Utah that BYU will play maybe in years. This team is built to win now, and perception will change, though. If BYU even keeps it close. If this is a 4 or a 5-point game, if BYU loses, they're not going to drop but maybe 2 or 3 slots in the CFP. I mean, that's how close these teams could be, in my opinion.
Anything else, Bomber, Mo? I think if you're getting to the point where you're saying if these 6 things happen.
No, I said these are keys to the game. I didn't say they all had to happen. No. These are keys. That's all. You go into games. Everything is a calculation, right? You have to start somewhere.
Sure, but I just think there's way too much here for BYU to pull off against Texas Tech.
They've done it against everybody else.
Well, they haven't played Texas Tech,
and that's what the world keeps saying. And yet, they lost to Arizona State. And there's
I realize that, but they did that with their backup quarterback. He was
arguably okay. Let's get into this a little bit. He was arguably the better quarterback. There is a universe where Baron Morton doesn't play another down at Texas Tech, and that kid he takes off. He beat Utah. If Baron Morton plays Utah, that is a different game. If you watch that game play by play, Utah was in it until the backup quarterback came in. It's no lie.
Utah is an overrated team. Sorry, you.
Oh, really?
It's the truth. It is.
Really, Moan?
Yes,
until we play you in the playoffs and beat your face in Ohio State.
Yeah, because we've seen how that worked out for you in the past. We don't have to worry about Cam Rising this time. He actually retired after his 67th year at Utah.
I don't know how all of a sudden I got a whole Ohio State guy dogging on Utah, but I love it.
I think Utah's overrated. I do. I think Utah's an overrated team.
All season,
and Notre Dame is not overrated.
Moen, I got to call you on this. All year long, you have been a Utah fan. The CFP comes out, and all of a sudden, you say they're overrated.
Listen, I think a 2-loss Utah is overrated in the CFP. I'm sorry, they are.
Compared to who?
Compared to a 2-loss Notre Dame, whose 2 losses are to Miami and Texas A&M by 3 points.
Yeah, look,
those
where's
are
Miami?
better losses
Miami's
than what Utah has.
Utah lost to 7 and 8 in the nation, Moan. I think you need to wake up a little bit here.
Yeah,
seriously, I think that your little Big Ten bias is showing out a little bit here.
This is completely
Listen, who has
a different
bitched more
universe
about Notre Dame? Who has hated more on Notre Dame than me on this channel? And I'm telling you, I think Utah is overrated compared to Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is so overrated.
Okay.
Like generationally overrated. Who
I
have they
agree that
played,
Notre Dame.
Moen?
Listen, no. Let me get this straight.
No, who has Notre Dame beat?
It doesn't matter who they've beat. It's who they've lost.
Okay,
to.
so you can't answer that flat. Who have they beat? You got to
Who
beat
is
somebody
Utah
to beat
beat?
somebody.
Who is Utah beat?
Just pounded Cincinnati.
They just beat the crap out of Cincinnati.
And
who was
Arizona
in the
State.
top
Okay.
20.
You beat the crap out of a team that was a G5 3 years ago.
Oh, that's an excuse. That's not an answer, Moen. You are literally defending Notre Dame against they've done nothing. They've won 6 games in a row. That's the biggest thing they can claim.
Well, how many games has Utah won in a row?
4.
It doesn't matter.
It
Who
does.
cares? This is the difference. In modern day football, you lose in the first 2 weeks. People have amnesia in November. You lose
Okay.
October 31st. It changes the world. Ask Miami. Ask
What-
Virginia. Ask Louisville.
What did the SEC add into the college football playoff this year? Strength of schedule, strength of record.
And that's why
Correct?
the Big 12 is up there. That's right. Yes.
And that's why Notre Dame is up there in front of Utah.
Yeah, I'm not even comparing those two straight across. Right today, I think that would be a great game. I would love to see that game. But I don't think either of them are necessarily better than a Louisville team that has played extremely well. You could argue Virginia might be better. These are all arguments, but them being 10 is absolutely ridiculous. A 2-loss team that was out of the CFP on September 21st, and now all of a sudden they're 10. Come on now. You're trapping yourself. You put them up there because
I'm
you
not
hate them
trapping
so
my-
much.
You're asking me a question if I think Notre Dame has 2 better losses than Utah. I do. Does
Give
Notre
me a
Dame have a
win,
better
though.
win than Utah? I do. USC. I think USC's a better win than Utah. What is Utah's best win?
I already told you, it's
Cincinnati and
Cincinnati.
Arizona State.
You think it's
Oh,
Cincinnati?
Arizona State, too.
Okay. I think USC's a better win than both of those games.
I don't think so. I don't
Man.
think so at all.
Yeah, that's what's so good
Moan,
about
you
college
diss
football.
on the
You can
Utes.
argue this forever.
Moan.
I'm not
No.
dissing on the Utes. I'm
Oh,
just
what are you
telling
doing
you, I
then?
think they're
Oh,
overrated.
if you're saying they're overrated, what
Well,
is
you
that
said-
doing?
That's not dissing
pissing
them.
on the
That's
Utes.
giving my opinion.
Well,
They're overrated. They are.
Dissing one and being opinionated are the exact same thing.
No, you
Mo.
want to hear me diss Utah? Wait until you hear what the Wizard has to say.
Oh, here we go.
Shit.
The Wizard. Man, my wife is home. I can't stick around for the Wizard, I don't think. I just want to sum up these picks again. It just continues to get harder and harder to pick against the spread. That's my bottom line. College football, the margins are so small between Oklahoma State, Clemson, and Texas A&M, and BYU and Texas Tech. I think completely college football is now so marginal, it's insane. I don't know how you bet college football, honestly, Moen.
I don't know, but my head's above water this year, so I must be doing something right.
You are doing
Yes,
something
we got to
right.
get to
Absolutely.
some super chats. But Moan, you're really going to throw that teaser out on the Wizard diss in
Well-
Utah? You're killing me, Moan. You are absolutely killing me. You dissed my
He's right.
record. You're dissing the record. You're dissing the ranking, and now you're dissing my realignment. Come on, man.
Yeah. I
Utah's
gotta do
not going
it.
to the Big Ten or the
do
SEC
it.
or any 28-team Super League. So, yes, I will do Super Chats. You're right, Mo. Thank you very much, for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Let's get to these really quick. Becky Go Huskies says Big 12 is building their defenses to be able to compete with the SEC and Big 10. Yep. But you have to beat them to win titles. There's absolutely no doubt about that. We'll get through all these,
Yes,
Moen.
man.
Then you can do Sounders, okay?
All right.
Okay. Justin R. USF Bulls back in the national picture, baby, on national television, making a statement. Sorry, it didn't pop up. I did click Justin's. There we go. $2 super chat says that Tulane Memphis game kicks off in 30 minutes. That's playing right now tonight. I didn't
I
know
believe
that.
the kickoff was at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, so it's already gone. Okay. College Football Express, $2 super chat. Great interview today. Smash that like button. Thank you, Rock. Or that might be Flo. I don't know. I appreciate it though. I take that crap seriously. Like I do work, and Cody Campbell. More is going to come out about that. This weekend was so loaded. We'll get to pieces of how he can fix college football. We'll get to that. Ryan Willie, another $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Says this evil badger is really ticked off, Mo, and you pissed him off.
We covered it earlier, Ryan. We covered it earlier. I promise. You're probably watching us on the replay now, but yeah, we covered it. We covered it. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what to tell you. Fire your AD, man. Start a grassroots effort.
True.
I don't know. Get a petition going.
Jeez.
And I don't even know if that would help at this point because case of the asylum is being run by inmates.
Fergie, FF18 Buffs in the house. Contributor comes in and does specials for us here at the College Football Mafia. $5 super chat. Good to see you, Fergie. Also a valuable member. Been with us a long time now. Buffs will be a totally different team. Enjoy the game with new QB and new OC, pivoting to learn how to hire a staff. Not going to be fired, period.
Okay.
Okay. Fergie
I
would
just
know.
don't like the trend.
Yeah, the trend. Yeah, the trend line's not good.
And
He
like,
does. Go ahead. Finish what you're going to say.
Yeah, that's the whole thought and stuff. I think that this is the best Deion's going to have brought. Like he's going to bring viewership at the beginning of the years. But the problem with the Buffs is there's just no physicality with that team. There hasn't been. There's not going to be. Good luck winning in the Big 12 without any physicality. I just don't think he's the right guy for the job to take the Buffs where they want to go. It's been worse, yes, but it's not moving in the right direction at all.
Okay. Good to see you, Fergie, by the way. We need to get in touch. You and I got to talk. Nathan Jones, BYU fan, super fan, I would call, in the house tonight. $5 super chat says, what would the perception be if BYU loses by 7 points or less? I personally think that would not be bad at all. What do you guys think?
I think that the perception would be that BYU's still kind of that underdog team. I do. Like, you got to win. You can lose by a point. I think that's not changing. If you win this football game, it changes.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
I think 7 points or less is a little deceiving, Nathan, because these points are going to mean more than anything. If you lose by 7 points, it's a lot different than if you lose by 5 points. It really is. You may say there's 2 points there. It's a huge difference in the national perception of a program. If they just look at the screen, because a lot of people aren't going to be watching this game. There's going to be a lot of people who are watching this game, but there's a lot of games start kicking off at noon tomorrow.
Yeah.
There are going to be a lot of people who don't watch it, who only see that score. And if they see that score is Texas Tech wins by 7-10, that's a lot different perception than BYU loses by 3-5.
Everything both of you just said, I agree with. Yep. I think you're both right. Good to have you here tonight, Nathan. Go Cougs. That's all I can say. Ricky Tungate, last super chat that we have to get to, and then I got to go. Indiana is number 2 in the CFP. Ricky, longstanding member of the College Football Mafia family, $5 super chat says, I love it when Moen gets Ute going off. Honestly,
Moen did get me going. Moen does it.
You guys going at each other is the best thing in my day right now.
It's just interesting because sometimes Moen, he doesn't realize it's like the subconscious, something changes, and that narrative changed. And you mentioned, Nate, it's because of what the Wizard said. That's what the Wizard said. Something has changed Moen's mind on the Utes, and I got to know what it is. I've got to know. We better go into overtime. I got to know this freaking Moen. I can't even wait, Moen, for another hour. Come on, man.
Okay, come on. Do it right now, Moen, because I got to go. So do it right
now. We haven't hit the goal yet. So we haven't hit the goal.
Oh, come on.
Haven't hit the goal.
All right. You guys got to tell me what that is.
Unless we go into overtime. I'm not even going to
watch it on demand. Watch it on demand.
No, you guys got to tell me a message. Anyway, I do got to go. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. This is an amazing show again. We continue to go from victory to victory. I appreciate everybody spending their time with us on a Friday evening, as always. Big freaking Friday at the College Football Mafia family and network of shows. Definitely go into our catalog, our live and our videos. We have some amazing things on top of Moen Confidential, which are all member videos. I've done a few interviews last few weeks, and the biggest one was yesterday. I interviewed Cody Campbell, and he said some amazing things about the future of college football, and maybe where we may be trending, no matter what the Wizard says. So I encourage everybody to go to the library after the show tonight, and I'm just going to say, go Cougs. BYU is going to beat Texas Tech tomorrow, 26-24, maybe 27-23. And BYU wins the turnover margin. And let me look at these
National
other
perception
things.
changes, and BYU is living their best life, baby.
If BYU goes 150 yards, Mo, and you were asking for one key, if BYU goes for 150 yards, I think they win the game. I'll just you were asking for one thing. I think that's it.
Yeah, Stormy Cyclone. Well, I'll get the. I think we already covered this one.
I
didn't
did.
we?
I did that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't click that.
Yeah, we grabbed that
Okay.
one. Stormy Cyclone.
Yeah, well,
Sorry.
it wasn't me. That's okay. All right, everybody, have a great night. Stay out of trouble. And Ute, you have a good weekend. Moen,
You too.
just keep doing what you're doing, brother. You're
Enjoy
doing
the
an
game
amazing
tomorrow.
job.
He won't
Appreciate
wish
it.
me a good weekend because I pointed out that BYU.
No.
probably
I
isn't
want you
gonna
to.
win.
I always want you to have a good weekend. What are you talking about? You have friends like the Wizard. What have we? I mean,
That's
I know he's
true.
got the Wizard, man. I can't believe this Wizard guy comes from
come out of
something that night.
nowhere. The Wizard coming in. You guys have a great night. We will talk to you later. Okay. All right. Hang on.
See you later.
Peace. There we go.
Peace. All right, Moan, you and the Wizard.
I hate to say it, but Moen is right about everything. Don't hate to say it, Fergie. It's fine to say that. Hashtag Moen was right. Let me
Moen
switch
was
us
right.
up to the two-way.
There we
The
go, baby.
two-way. There we go. Much
You
easier.
got me a
that
little
way.
frazzled about this Wizard comment. Okay, so I'm a
Well?
little off. I'm a little off right now. I'm a little chippy, a little agitated, and I need to turn this around because we're about to go to tier maker. Okay, Moan. The tier
Okay.
maker is happening, and we got to get let's freshen up because this is important. Because we know that the Michigan Wolverines are going to be leading the sucker, right? The Michigan
No.
Wolverines and the unhappy Wolverines are the ones that are going to be driving this sucker to create this Premier League, this Super League, this 16 team, this 20 team league. And my question to you, and we're about to find this out, is which of the 34 teams in the Big Ten and the SEC are going to be in it? That's what we're going to be doing right now.
We're going to do a tier maker first, and then we're going to decide on the best
Wizard.
possible conference with even distribution.
All right, here we go. Let me share a screen here, okay? All right, behold. Are you ready, Moen?
I'm ready.
Let's
Do
go.
it.
Give me a let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, here we go. We're building out the best of the Power 2 right here. And what we're doing, here's the criteria. We're doing a tier maker, and we're breaking out based on 5 categories. There are 34 teams in the Big Ten and the SEC. And we're trying to whittle this down to see which 16, 20 teams, maybe more, would be eligible, be the top picks for a Premier League, breakaway, whatever you want to call it, best of the rest for the Power 2 conference for all the big boys in the Power 2. Now, there are 5 different tiers, okay, that we're going to have to place teams into, and we've got 34 teams to go into, so we're going to have to really rapid fire some of these things, Moen. But here are the categories. Number 1, the top, the elites. These are the 4 or 5 top brands in all of college football, the mega elites, the ringleaders, the starters, the everything of college football. Moving down to the second tier, the power core. Those really, really strong brands that are borderline elite, but not quite elite, but they would certainly be still in this best of the rest type of Power 2 conference that we are going to build right now. Moving down, the prime ads. These are the schools that are probably getting in. Yeah, they're going to get in, but they're not quite the power core. They're not the elites, but they're strong, solid brands and the Power 2. And lastly, the bubble teams. And there's probably going to be quite a few bubble teams, I would imagine, in this analysis that we're going to do. Teams that are going to be looking up, trying to punch up to try to get into the 16, 20, the mega elites in this Premier League that we're building out right now. And then lastly, the teams that really, truly have no shot at getting in. There are some of them in this analysis This one's going to be difficult to do, though, Mo. There's so many good brands that I'm already looking at here. They've been mixed up, so we're not just going SEC and Big Ten. I just threw them together. It's a cluster right now. We're going to have to organize it after. But let's do this. Let's start it. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I just want to get this comment from Opie. Am lost on this wizard. Is he a blue wizard, Gandalf the Gray, or Gandalf the White? I am super late and really lost. He is undescribable. I would just put it that way to protect his identity, but he knows things. He drinks and he knows things. We didn't get to any sounders for those people we did all those super chats for. Thanks to you. You distracted me.
That's what I do.
Give some sounders then, Moan. Throw some sounders out.
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
Better not drive a car. Take a bus.
If I can't drive a car, I better not drive a bus.
He's my best friend. He's my pal. He's my homeboy, my rotten soldier.
I got my Magnum condoms. I got my Water hundreds. I'm ready to plow.
I'm a bad man. You hear me?
I was helping those ladies find a new life, $20 at a time.
Thank you to everybody for the super chats. Opie, like I said, the wizard is undescribable, but he is a man that knows things. So usually when that man says something, I tend to take it as fact. Thank you for the comment, Opie. Appreciate it, sir. All right, we're ready now. Now we're ready, Now we're ready. Let's
ready
freaking go. Let's
Is the
freaking go.
wizard ready? The wizard's ready.
Wizard is
too.
ready.
Let's do this thing. All right, we're starting out with the bang here. We're starting out with the brand, and that is a tough one, too. The Florida Gators. The Florida Gators. Are they in the super elite, the elite, power core, or the prime ads?
They're in the Super League because they're the only Florida team available.
So I agree, they're in the Super League, but like which category? Are they a power core member or are they part of the elites?
They're power core.
Yeah, that seems right. Power core, comfortably in Super League, in this Premier League, but they're not going to be one of like the true top dogs of it. Agreed?
Absolutely.
Man, that's crazy. So power core, Florida Gators, chomp chomp. We're moving on to the Michigan Wolverines. Perhaps the school that will start everything that we're talking about if it ever happens. The school that might want to break away, start something like this. Moen, is there any doubt that they're in the elites?
There's no doubt they're in the elites, but they're going to have to find somebody who wants to come along with them.
So the Michigan Wolverines are the first team in the elites. So thus far, we've got Michigan and Florida that are definitely going to be a part of a 16 to 20 team Premier Conference. No doubt about it. Those two schools are going to be in. And then we're moving on to a more interesting candidate here, the Arkansas Razorbacks.
No shot.
Woo! They're not a bubble team?
They're not even a bubble team. Yeah, no shot. My opinion,
really?
No shot. No shot. There's just not enough of a fan base for Arkansas Razorback. I get it. Jerry Jones, I know, is a huge booster, but look, man, they don't have any legitimate shot.
I would say they're a bubble team. They've got a good fan base. They've got a good brand. They've had some football history in the distant past. I mean, no shot. I'm thinking some other brands for no shot, but you think that they're really that low down? There's no chance at all?
Yeah, no shot.
All right, Moan. We'll go with no shot. The Arkansas Razorbacks are essentially what we're saying is they're the first team out. If this were to happen, they would not have a home in this new conference, the Arkansas Razorbacks. Now moving on to the Northwestern Wildcats.
No shot.
No shot. I don't think there's a lot of discussion that needs to be had there. Northwestern's the smallest brand in the Big Ten Conference, in my viewpoint. There's no shot they get into a conference like this. All right, moving on. Mississippi State Bulldogs.
No shot.
No shot. We're really starting to eliminate some schools from contention of this Premier League now. That's 3 in a row. Mississippi State, If you're in the state of Mississippi, they're not going to be the school you take. They're one of the smaller brands in the SEC. There's absolutely no shot that they get into a 16 to 20 team Super League if this were to happen. Totally agree with you. All right. Moving on to a very interesting Big Ten candidate, the Michigan State Spartans. Are we talking here? In my view, Moan, they're either a prime ad or a bubble team, and I'm leaning towards a prime ad. You're thinking a bubble team?
They're a bubble team, and it's just going to be dependent on who's going to sponsor them into the conference. Michigan might pull for them and bring them into the conference as little brother. Ohio State might pull for them and bring them into the conference as a blocker for Michigan. So, bubble team.
Yeah. Bubble team. Michigan State Spartans are a bubble team to get into a 16 to 20. Moving on. Rutgers.
No shot.
No shot. No shot at all. They are lucky to be in the Big Ten Conference. We know that. Rutgers, no shot.
Well, you know what? They are the birthplace of college football. You know.
They are.
You may have to put them in bubble team.
Moan, there's no shot that Rutgers is getting into this thing. There's no shot. All right. How about the LSU Tigers?
Elite.
I'm leaning toward like the power. Am I wrong about that, Moan? Are they not a power?
I think
team?
you're wrong about that. I think LSU is an elite team. Now, obviously, the coaching search this year has not done them any favors in moving them up to elite. It's been a clusterfuck, but I mean, it looked like two drunk monkeys fucking a football down there in Louisiana. But I mean, in my opinion, LSU is an elite team.
Look, I think that this one warrants the community vote. Is there any way that you can create a vote to see if LSU is an elite? Are they the top of the top, or are they in the power core level? Because when I see LSU, I think of LSU at the same level as Florida. And so if we're going to put Florida at the power core level, it's hard to put LSU above that. That's my thinking on Amon, but I want the community to opine on that.
All right. It's either they're elite or they're not elite. It's a deflated football mower. Yeah, they're fucking it some way that's not working out. I mean, just they cannot get out of their own way down there in Baton Rouge. I mean, the AD who's not the AD, who was the AD, who is the AD, who isn't the AD, who has new responsibilities as the vice AD. Whatever the hell's going on down there, they just can't figure it out. But I'm saying that they fall within the elite. I get it. Ute is probably young enough. He just remembers the Spurrier years, the Fun and Gun, the Urban Meyer years. But I mean, prior to that, I think like 1968 was the last time they were a viable. The Gators. Prior to that, Steve Spurrier coaching situation. So
was LSU winning titles in the 80s?
Oh yeah. Let's see here. When did LSU win their national championships? I think they won some.
I thought they
not in the 80s, but
they won one under Saban. Like Les Miles won one, didn't he? LSU.
Yeah, Les Miles won one there.
LSU is one of the top brands of college football. There's no doubt about it. When we're doing this analysis, Moan, like we're talking about like which of like the two elitist tiers, right? Like the Ubers, like we've got Michigan Wolverines. Are they the same as the Michigan Wolverines? On that.
So LSU actually claims 4 national titles. 1968, 2003, 2007, 2019. So maybe they did not win any in the 80s or 70s, but I just that was always a game that my uncle had on his football ticket. So, and the Florida Gators weren't until Steve Spurrier took over as coach. So,
what's our poll say?
Let's see. 61% think it is an elite school, and I tend to agree with them.
You got it.
Florida has 3 claimed national championships.
LSU has made it into the elites tier with the Michigan Wolverines and leaving behind the Florida Gators in the Power Core tier. Whew. All right. The community has spoken. Good with it. We're moving on to the Maryland Terrapins.
Bubble team.
No
and
shot.
I'll tell you why bubble team. The DC marketplace.
True.
If you want to get the DC market in there, in fact, you may move Maryland up the prime edge just for that DC marketplace.
Man, Moen, I can't put them above Michigan State. I can't.
Michigan State's in Lansing, Michigan. If you're getting the University of Michigan, you're getting the entire Michigan market. It's not about market for Michigan State. For Maryland, it's about market. It's the DC marketplace. There is nobody in the SEC who can pick up the DC marketplace. You have to make them a prime ad.
That's a good point. It's hard to do that.
I mean, if we're
based on, like,
evenly
the
splitting
transfer.
this between 8 Big Ten teams and 8 SEC
No,
teams.
we're not evenly splitting this at all. No, this is just like we're just putting these schools where they belong in these tiers and stuff and seeing how it shakes out. So if it's 16, if it's 12, it's 20. I mean, we'll get there, but like, yeah, where does Maryland fall? And like, and based on that point, though, it's a great point because you're going to want the TV partners are going to want DC.
Yes, absolutely. It's just too big of a marketplace. It's also too big of a recruiting ground. Lots of kids come out of that DC marketplace.
I'm with you. I mean, that's a great point. They're prime ad. They're probably in, right? They're in. If you're a prime
they're not
ad,
going to be one of your better teams in the conference. But again, that, you know, it's that key that opens the lock to the recruiting grounds, the marketplace. I think you gotta add Maryland at least as a power ad.
Okay. Texas A&M. Power core. Power core. Don't say prime ad, Moan.
I'm going to leave them as power core, but they got to be at the bottom of power core because here's the problem. Texas is also in this race.
Right. I think that they make it in regardless because of the brand, everything they bring to the table. I mean, A&M's a huge brand. Best home field environments, Kyle Field. I would put them behind Florida. So Florida's number one in power core tier. They're behind them for now. And I agree they're going to be later in the power core.
Okay.
So good. A&M's in though. That's what we're saying. A&M would be in this type of thing. And I totally agree with that 100%. Look at the ratings. Yeah, they're in. Washington Huskies.
Washington would be power core.
Prime ad, I think.
Well, let's let them run. We'll run a poll.
Washington is a school that gets decent TV ratings, but not SEC level TV ratings. They've got a good fan base. You're going to have some West Coast schools, so yeah, that's going to be attractive. But I just, if you're building out this type of conference, do you need Washington and Oregon? Both. I mean, you bring Seattle. They're probably in, but I'm not saying a power core. They're not at the same level as a Florida or Texas A&M.
Here's your problem. You brought it up already. You're going to have West Coast teams.
Right.
Listen, we're adding USC. There's no way we're getting around. USC is going to be in the elite. You've got to have travel partners. You can't have USC out there on an island by themselves.
True.
Although adding Texas does make that a lot easier for them. It's just a jump of 2 states, but I still think you need to have, like, to me, I would put them low power core, but I would put them power core.
I'm at number one in the prime ads over Maryland. I think they both get in, but they aren't in the top 2 tiers.
Well, right now the poll says 60% power ads with 16 votes. Let's go ahead and put them in the power ads.
You got it. All right, we're going to put them in the
Power
power
ads,
core.
not power core. You got them up.
Oh, prime ads. The prime ads.
Yep.
Okay.
Prime ads.
Gotcha. Okay, so we've got Washington in the first position, the prime ads. And okay, so we're building this beast out. We've got 6 teams that are in so far into the Super League. That's Michigan, LSU, Florida, Texas A&M, Washington, and Maryland. That Maryland one's going to blow people's minds, Moan.
It's the marketplace, and I know that's weird to say, but the DC market brings so many TVs, and it doesn't even matter if they're Maryland fans or not. It just brings TV sets.
Oklahoma.
Elite.
Yep. LSU or Oklahoma? Who's in
I've got Oklahoma in front of LSU.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
So Michigan, Oklahoma, LSU. Oklahoma's a no-brainer. They're in. In the elites, yeah, no doubt about it. So Minnesota.
No shot. Sorry, Minnesota. I know you got great hockey. Team? They got a great hockey team, but I mean, the last time their football team won anything was the 1960s. Jack Kennedy was president the last time they won anything.
They're not a bubble team?
They're not even a bubble team.
Okay. I'm saying that Minnesota, I'll put them in the number 1 position in the no shots so far. So to me, you're looking like Mississippi State's probably your last.
I would agree because you've got Ole Miss out there still.
Exactly. Yeah. How about Indiana?
Boy. Now you see, Indiana's a tough one because I mean, if we look historically, Indiana should be no shot. If we can include the Kurt Signetti, the 2 years he's been, I mean, they're number 2 in the AP poll right now. They went to the playoffs his first year. I think you have to put Indiana as a bubble team.
Yeah, I'm with you. Indiana's a bubble team based on the recent performance, growth going on. You're, you know what, in this, like, since this is the Power 2, Notre Dame is not on this list, right? Because
Notre Dame is not on this list. Yeah, this is a conference of the Power 2.
And Notre Dame would be certainly in this league, right? At the end of the day and everything. So
probably, yes.
You need Iowa, Indiana, and Notre Dame. Do you need them both? Or is that a little bit redundant?
Yeah. You're probably going to get some ACC teams in here too. You're probably going to get a Florida State or a Clemson or any of those number of teams in there. So, but we can't count on that. So,
okay, so they're a bubble team for now. Wisconsin Badgers.
Power core. Power core.
Yeah, I can see that. Power core.
I think that pulls right because you're getting. Again, we took Minnesota and put them at no shot. I think Wisconsin gets your representation of that area of the country.
Power core.
Right, the UPER. Yeah, the UPER community.
The UPER community. Should we get to some comments?
We can. Let's see here. Maryland is a joke. I live in Washington, D.C. No one gives 2 shits about Maryland. Doesn't matter. It's not about Maryland. It's about the marketplace. Maryland is not owned by Washington, D.C. is not owned by any one college team. Okay, great. But it's the marketplace. The DMA is for Maryland. So you just broke Greg's heart. I think Greg would agree with me. Flugar's not a hippocamper. I think Greg would 100% agree with this. He wouldn't want to agree with it, but he would agree with it.
You don't think that Minnesota's a bubble team?
If Indiana is bubble, then Minnesota is for sure. Again, I'm putting Indiana in bubble teams just based off the last 2 years. They probably are not going to make it in. They're probably not. And the same thing I think is true of Minnesota. Big Lubbock says whiskey is a prime ad. I think they're power core. And then Becky takes umbrage with the wrong UW getting picked as power core. If Wisconsin is a power ad, so is Washington. At least Washington carries a larger TV market than Wisconsin.
It's the TV ratings, though. I mean, Wisconsin draws a lot more than Washington.
Well, I mean, if they keep Luke Fickell as their coach, they're not going to be that. That's on them.
That's for sure.
But I mean, that's what we're looking at. So let's Vanderbilt. I think we can agree that's a no shot.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we're back to the list here. So what we're saying, let's just start from the foundation. We're building out the best of the SEC and the Big Ten Conference. If there were to be a breakaway, who would be in, who would be out? What tiers are these schools in? And right now we've got the elites, the power core, the prime ads, the bubble teams, and the no-shot teams right here. And we're on to the Vanderbilt Commodores.
No shot.
No shot. Like, probably put them ahead of Mississippi State, behind Northwestern. Yeah. No shot. Purdue, Boilermakers. No shot. Come on, Mon. No shot.
I'm going to put them as a bubble team. Historically speaking, Purdue does have a historic program with Heisman Trophy winners and national championships. So I think you have to put Purdue as a bubble team in front of Michigan State and Indiana.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, I'm not.
What state is Purdue in?
It's in Indiana.
Mm-hmm. And so you're taking Purdue over the University of Indiana?
Yes, and in regards to football, yes. Indiana's been good for 2 seasons. There's been times where, let me see here, bowl record, unclaimed national titles won in 1931, but they've had several Heisman Trophy winners come through Purdue. I mean, historically speaking, I think you have to put Purdue at the top of bubble teams right now, of the bubble teams we have selected.
This isn't even really like a second thought for me. It's no brainer, no shot. Like, no doubt about it. I just don't even see like a sniff, Moan. We're pretty far away on this. Like, Purdue might be the worst bubble, no shot of all, in my view. Like,
really?
I'm serious.
Okay.
Like, what do they bring to the table? Like, especially in football, not a lot. Maybe some distant history. They don't bring ratings. Like, they're redundant in the market. There's just no way.
Well, they're the Purdue Spoilermakers, and I would put them as a bubble team, but I'm not going to fight you on this.
All right. Well, we've got a treat for you, Moan. We got the Ohio State Buckeyes.
And they're going to be at the top. No, they're going to be in front of Michigan.
Are they in front or back
they're
of Michigan?
In front of Michigan. Look at recent success. They're in front of Michigan.
Based on your national championship and your number 1 ranking right now, we'll give you that. Number 1 in the elites. Ohio State, yeah. Biggest brand in college football. They're the elite of the elite, the bluest of blue bloods. They are the top dog, 100%. All right, Missouri.
Power ad.
No way.
Yes. St. Louis Marketplace.
There's just not a lot of people in St. Louis anymore, though, Moan.
Still, I'm not saying they're in. I'm just saying they're a power ad.
I'm feeling bubble.
Well, I gave you Purdue, so you got to put Mizzou in power ads.
All right. You got it. You got the power ad, but you're going to have to justify that to people. I'm telling you.
I can justify it.
The prime ads, okay? All right. How about Illinois? Fighting Illini.
Okay, so we're going off the assumption that Notre Dame is included in here somehow.
Yeah.
So Illinois does lose the Chicago market based off of that. If Notre Dame is covering the Chicago market,
are they a no shot?
No, I think they're a bubble team.
Okay. I'm with you. They're a bubble team.
South Carolina, I would do the same thing, bubble team.
Yeah. Bubble team behind Illinois.
Tennessee, I'm going to go power core.
Agreed. Are they in front? Where do they fit in power core?
They're in
Are
front of
they-
Texas A&M.
So they're right next to Florida. But
Right
Florida's in
next
front
to
of
Florida.
Tennessee.
I think that's a correct position.
Yeah, I think so too, Moan. I think you hit that one right on the head. So we've got Florida, Tennessee, A&M, then Wisconsin. That's a pretty dang good power core right there.
Yeah.
And Penn State,
Elite.
where do they fit in relation to LSU?
I would put them behind LSU. Just LSU's got a longer history.
Yeah, I'm not squawking. I mean, they're definitely elite, no doubt about it. Okay, so there we go. We're building this beast out. Ole Miss.
Yeah, I like them there in power ads.
The prime ads. I think that
prime ads.
I think they sit. If we're talking about markets, then maybe they're even behind Maryland.
Maybe, but I do believe they're in prime ads. I do agree with that.
Oh man, they've got a bigger brand than Maryland, but the markets, right? That's
Ole
a tough
Miss
one.
used to be a joke when it came to that. So, listen, I mean, what did Ole Miss do outside of Archie Manning's career there prior to Eli Manning showing up?
Nothing for a long time. Nothing.
So, I mean, how strong can that brand be?
Yeah, if Kiffin he were to leave that school, you'd think that they'd take a dip for sure. But yeah, we're in the right position. I think we found a good spot for them right here in the prime ads behind Washington. I'd rather have Washington than Ole Miss, though.
Okay, UCLA, we're putting our focus on football, correct? We're
That's
making the
right.
best football brand. They're a bubble team.
Do they have a shot to get in if USC gets in?
No.
Yeah. And USC's coming up.
USC's elite. We might as well just put it up there right now.
All right. Moving USC up because we're in the same market. USC elite. But I would
Elite.
say the USC now
I would put USC in front of LSU and Penn State. I'd put it right behind Oklahoma, and there's even an argument you could put them in front of Oklahoma.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then Alabama, we're going to move Alabama up to elite. It's behind Ohio State.
You think,
Michigan.
whoa.
Listen, you can make the argument if we're going based on football purely, it's Alabama ahead of everyone by a mile.
Like if we're thinking from the TV point of view, these are all banger schools. They're all going to get big time ratings. Who gets the biggest? Ohio State or Alabama? Who gets bigger ratings?
It depends on the games, depends on the schedule. Listen, I mean, if I took my homerism aside, I would probably put Alabama and Michigan based on historic success, because Michigan has all those years where there were like 14 schools playing football and they claimed national championships. So, but listen, Alabama, even their recent success is nothing to sneeze at. So I would put Alabama at top in front.
I don't think that if you're building out this Premier League that you would have Alabama in front of Ohio State or Michigan. Like I get the history. Alabama has so much football history and everything, but when you're actually looking at like the valuations, I just have to imagine that Ohio State and Michigan is going to beat Alabama in almost anything. Like viewership is a little bit better. I mean, the people watching the games and everything. I I have my third behind Ohio State and Michigan.
Okay. That's you saying it, guys. Don't blame it on me.
No, yeah, that's just how I see it. I think that Ohio State and Michigan are the top two brands in college football, and Alabama is number 3. Nebraska.
Elite.
No.
Yes.
No.
Look at the amount of games they've won. Nebraska, as much as I hate to say it, Nebraska is elite. 3 national championships.
Moan, can you put out a poll to see if folks think Nebraska's elite, power core, or prime ad? Where do they fall? Are they in the elites, the power core, or a prime ad? Because when I'm looking at this, it's either a power core or a prime ad. Nebraska has the history. They've got a big fan base. They don't bring a spectacular market, so you're really just banking on the fan base. What puts them over a school like Florida or Tennessee or Texas A&M? I just don't see that at all.
They've got 5 national champions. They've got 5 national championships. How many?
Well, they're going to be
have?
in
Florida has 3.
3. But like Florida, you've got the market, you've got just as big a fan base, you got bigger ratings.
Well, you're asking me why you're asking me why they're ahead of Florida, and I'm telling you that's why. They have 5 national championships compared to 3.
Okay.
Several Heisman Trophy winners as well.
Army had a bunch too.
Last 20 years has really hurt them, but I mean,
right.
You go back and look at their historical win percentage. I mean, go back to 1968 and the Big 8 to find like a win percentage that was below 750. Yeah, I mean, and that ran up until what was this? Yeah, so I mean, I mean, until like they fire Frank Solich, this is a very winning program.
Yeah, 100%. And like they're in this, no doubt about. They're in this Premier League. It's just like when we're tiering Nebraska in 2025, are we saying that they're in the same level as Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Oklahoma, USC, LSU, and Penn State? I just don't agree with that.
We're saying they're on the same level. I'm just not saying they're ranked the same.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, so.
5 national championships, man. Multiple Heisman Trophy winners. You look at the winning percentage over the years. Becky and Vox Condaro are having none of this. I'm not a fan of this list. I'm not taking this list serious. We knew this was going to be the most argumentative of lists. So let's see. Well, I'm going to end the poll. We've got 20 votes. Most people seem to think they're power core. So
power core. Okay.
I'm not going to argue with the people.
The people know what they're talking about. Are we going to move Nebraska in the front over Florida?
Yeah, I would move them in front of Florida. Okay. 5 national championships.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. Top of power core. I think that's a good place for them.
Now we're going to get some people that we're really going to piss off, because I'm going to tell you right now, Texas is elite.
Texas definitely is elite. Where does Texas fall in the elite category, though? They're in this range.
Alabama, behind Oklahoma, behind USC. They're in front of LSU and Penn State. Ooh.
Are they behind Oklahoma?
I would flip Penn State and LSU. I would put Penn State slightly ahead of LSU.
Moan, I'm thinking that Texas is ahead of USC and Oklahoma.
No.
That's where
Absolutely
my
not.
instincts were right here. You don't think so?
I do not think so. I think Oklahoma's got more national championships. They've got more Heisman Trophy winners. They had a season where they had like a 3-year period where they never lost, where Oklahoma literally never lost a game.
Yeah, Texas did have their own network.
They've got a hell of a winning record, though. I got to give Texas that. They've got a lot of wins.
Texas is one of the bluest blue bloods.
Some of that was with the Southwestern Conference. So,
man, Moan, this is tough. Yeah, they're in this territory. Yeah.
Listen, Oklahoma's got 7 national championships. Texas is 4. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Heisman Trophy winners. Oklahoma is ahead of Texas. I'm sorry, Texas fans. You've got 2 trophy winners, 2 Heisman Trophy winners. They've got 7. You've got 4 national championships. They've got 7. They're ahead of you. Again, sorry. You just got to deal with it. Make your peace that Oklahoma is in front of Texas, and USC is definitely in front of Texas. I might have to look at numbers here to really crack down and figure out where Southern Cal fits in between Oklahoma and Texas.
Okay, I think that we've landed Texas in the right spot for this list. Now we're moving to a very interesting candidate, the Oregon Ducks. And here's my assessment, Mo, and I think that you need to add them in the power core, in the last position of the power core.
See, here's where I'm going to disagree with you. They're a prime ad. I'm sorry, but I mean, before Dennis Erickson, thank you, got there, Oregon wasn't anything. And there were several years after Dennis Erickson where they weren't anything. So I don't want recency bias to take over here. I'm putting Oregon in prime ads, and I'm putting them slotted behind some of those teams. Like I'll give you I'll give you in between Ole Miss and Maryland.
Definitely between them. You would take Washington over Oregon?
I would. Washington has national championships. Oregon doesn't. In football. If it was just track and field, hands down, you give it to Oregon. But we're putting football in here, and Washington has national championships. Oregon probably has them beaten Heisman winners at this point. But I still think, I've got them in prime ads. They're probably on the same level. I like the list. Look, Ryan Willie. I like the list because Minnesota didn't have a chance at the Super Conference.
Oh, dang, man. Oh, man.
That was a crime. Sean Gaynor. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, has become a new member. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. Welcome to the family. Check out the College Football Mafia membership only videos. I think you will dig some of the stuff we're putting in there. No natties for the small O gets knocked down a peg. Again, I think you have to take that into account. So
I think that's a great spot for Oregon. I think our people agree.
Yeah, Vox Quindaro puts this perfectly. A nouveau prime ad. They're nouveau.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just count the teams that we've got now in the Super League, okay? So I think that the prime ads are in. Obviously, the bubble teams are on the bubble.
Right.
Probably out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We've got 18 schools.
Well,
We've
this
got
is
18
actually going to be
schools.
pretty easy then to fill, or I think it's going to be pretty easy to figure this out. But my Big Ten bias might take over here.
I think
Kentucky. If it's about football, man, they ain't a football team.
Yeah, it's a bubble team.
Okay.
I'm putting them in.
Yeah. Now here comes the question, Auburn.
Yeah.
You can't list Auburn up with Alabama. You just can't. I'm sorry, Auburn fans, you can't. I'm going to put them in power core.
They're in the power core, probably sitting in this area.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, but I was going to put them between Tennessee and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
You might get away, but you might be right. Auburn might be in front of Tennessee. And that is going to be a very interesting because of all these hugely populated states, Auburn and Alabama aren't huge population centers, but they're historically in football so entrenched with one another. We might have two schools in Alabama in this super conference.
You need the Iron Bowl too. That game.
You do. You need the Iron Bowl.
Synergistic. Like I think Auburn's in, no doubt about it. The ratings justify that. Slot. Yeah, I mean they right between Florida and Tennessee makes sense. You could place them in a one notch higher below in that territory, but they have to be in. They've got to be in. So I'm good with that. And we might just have to tweak this list around just to have 20, once we slot these last two teams to see which one gets, eliminated last minute too. Because we can't go beyond 20. 20 is the max for this premium conference. All right, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Power core.
If they're in the power core, they're the last team in the power core.
No, they're ahead of Wisconsin.
You think they're ahead of Wisconsin?
I think they're ahead of Wisconsin.
All right. I can align based on your Big Ten knowledge, Moan. Georgia Bulldogs.
Let's see. How many national champions? They only claim one national championship, and they only have the one Heisman, who is the namesake of their field, Niall Kinnick. But I think I'm going to put Iowa in front of Wisconsin. Georgia, no, listen, Georgia's power core. And we are definitely going to put Georgia in front of Wisconsin and Iowa.
Whoa, wait, say that
Listen,
again?
Georgia's been recent. 1980 was their first national championship. And I will double check that, but I'm pretty sure it was with. Again, I think that's recency bias. That's nouveau.
Herschel Walker.
Oh, come on. That's what I'm saying. The first time they won a national championship, I believe, was with Herschel Walker at running back. 1980, 2021, and 2022. That's 3 national titles and 2 Heisman Trophy winners, Frank Sinkwich and Herschel Walker. Again, I think you're getting caught up in this recency bias. I think you're looking at Georgia and saying, oh, they're great, but they've been great in 2021 and 2022. Prior to that, you got to go back 32 years to find their first national championship.
I mean, when's the last
I don't know that I would even put them.
Championship?
Well, it was prior to, but I mean, 1993. They could claim a national title in 1993.
If Georgia can't be in the elites, why is Penn State in the elites?
Because we're looking at the winning percentage, or at least I'm looking at winning percentage. Georgia went 873 and 410 and 50 in that time. I think Penn State had a much better winning percentage. They were much more relevant. They were relevant throughout the 1980s, 1990s.
if we're moving
we'll leave it up to the okay. Community is going to decide this. We'll let community decide it.
Yeah. The question is, where do the Georgia Bulldogs fall? Are they in the top of the top, the elites, with the likes of Ohio State and Michigan?
They're either in elite or power core. There's no other option.
Yeah.
So you either vote 100%. For them. Yes, they're an elite, or if you vote no, they're in power core.
In my mind's eye, if you're moving Georgia down to power core, then you basically need to do that with LSU and Penn State too. And then you have the elites ending in Texas.
Let's see. Georgia is elite. PSU played a lot of Northeastern cupcakes like Pitt and BC to build those wins. Pitt had national championships in those years, though. Go Black 45. You're forgetting the Tony Dorsett years. Pitt used to actually compete for football stuff. They did. I'm old enough to remember that. It's the closest poll we've had so far. Make sure you're voting in this poll. We've got 20 votes right now. It's 55-45.
Dang.
One vote could split this thing right down the middle. I agree with what Vox Quindaro says. UGA is with Tennessee either side.
Ooh. Whoa. No way. What? Whoa, that's a take right there. So Georgia is in the middle of power core?
Yeah. Again, I think if we're keeping Nebraska up there at top of power core, I think they're below Nebraska. Now, I can make the argument that they're in front of Florida.
Yeah, I do agree with that now. That's amazing.
Well,
that is amazing.
We'll let the vote go. I'm going to give it another 30 seconds here. If you have not voted yet, make sure you get your vote in here. You're going to be ultimately, whoever votes in the next 30 seconds is going to be ultimately who determines where Georgia goes. They're either going high-end power core, they're going low-tier elite. So vote now. Vote early, vote often. Okay, we'll just end the poll. I don't think we're going to get two more. 55% say they're elite.
Okay. They move up to the elite category. The last team in the elites. There we go. All right. We've got 21 schools in the prime ads, power core, and the elites. The TV partners in this negotiation say, we want 20. We need to eliminate one school. Who's that going to be? We've got Washington Huskies.
Here's the thing. It's either going to be Ole Miss or Maryland.
Why Missouri? Like, I don't understand like the draw for Missouri.
I think it adds opponent for Nebraska and Iowa in particular. I think they also add a market, St. Louis marketplace. They also add the Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas marketplaces. To me, this comes down to Ole Miss and Maryland.
That's tough.
Do we need a team in Mississippi? Very low population state, Mississippi.
Which TV would be better for the TV partners and your advertisers? Which team would warrant you more money? Having Maryland or Ole Miss?
I think Maryland.
Man, I don't know how we could leave Ole Miss out of this thing. That's amazing because Mississippi State's already kicked out.
Well, I mean, you could actually make the argument that you just want a 16-team conference and we can cut 4 of these teams out.
I think that we should make the 20 and then we'll cut the 4 more and get to the over 16-team elites. But I think that we need to make this decision if it's Ole Miss, Maryland, or even Mizzou. Like, I hear your point on Mizzou. To me, I would eliminate those guys. Like, they're fine. They've got a great fan base. My cousins went to Mizzou. They love the Tigers and stuff, but we're talking about the Rebels, like in the diehard nature of Mississippi football, the Grove.
again, they're rebels, but they're in the state of Mississippi, which does not have a large population.
Right. I understand that.
Which means there's just less available viewers than, and I know Maryland is not as good a football team as Ole Miss. I'm not arguing that, but it's in a better marketplace than Ole Miss. And I think Mizzou's in a better marketplace than Ole Miss.
Yeah. How many SEC teams do we have in? So we've got Alabama 1. We've got
Oklahoma.
OU 2, 3, Texas 4, LSU 5, Georgia 6, 7, 8, 9. This would be the 10th and 11 with Mizzou. So you'd be, yeah. Maybe.
Listen, you've got 2 teams from Alabama in here. You've got more than enough. I just think the Mississippi marketplace is too small.
Oh, man, we're going to get roasted if we take Ole Miss up.
Well,
okay. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Okay. All right there. Moan, we've got our 20-team super conference with just the SEC and the Big Ten considered. Did we get it right?
no, I'm sure we didn't, but I'm sure we didn't. I'm sure. Fill it in the comments on how wrong we are. Leave us all nasty comments, but this is what we came up with. Although I can't unsee this. Can we switch around some of those prime ads, because it looks like womb to me?
It does, doesn't it? It's a little bit weird.
Like that idea of a womb being in the middle there. So let's move those around a little bit. But and listen, guys, I'm not the one who put Ohio State right out in front. I said Alabama should go in front, but that's
oh my gosh. Mo,
yeah, that wasn't my decision. Scale of 1 to 10, you guys did a 4. Well, I've done worse, Becky. Don't worry. Jacober Cat says Ole Miss is that country cousin who wants to date.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know who they want to date, but
they want to date you.
Yeah. 30 years ago, Maryland could have been easily in, but now it's not even close. Fox Quindaro rates this as a 3 out of 10. I've still done worse, Fox Quindaro. I've still done worse.
Where did we go wrong? If it's a 3 or 4, like where was the biggest airball?
There was no way we could go right on this. There was no way.
Look,
there's just, it's an impossible task. It's a Sisyphean task at that point. I mean, we're rolling a boulder up a hill that we know is going to roll right down the hill as soon as we get to the top.
I mean, I think that we nailed the no-shot schools. Mississippi State has no shot. In my view, Purdue has no shot. Vandy, no shot. Northwestern, Rutgers, Arkansas,
Minnesota, UCLA, because you don't need 2 schools in LA. But see, at the same time, we're saying we don't need 2 schools in LA, and we've got Alabama and Auburn in there. We've also got Texas and Texas A&M in there.
But like we're talking about UCLA as the secondary brand.
I know,
market
I know.
Versus A&M and Auburn.
I know, but we're also saying that the key reason we don't need UCLA is because we've got a school in Los Angeles. So why do we have 2 schools in Alabama?
Because Auburn's a massive brand in its own right.
I get it.
It's going to drive ratings. And you get the Iron Bowl, and like you've got Texas and Texas A&M, massive brands. Like they're just too big to leave out. And UCLA just isn't that. They can't even sell.
Well, I mean, if we're going based off of that, then we're probably going to have to take Oregon and move them up.
Yeah, I thought that Oregon would be power.
Yeah, if we're basing it solely on brands, then we're going to have to move them up, and we're going to have to move some people back down.
Well, let's do that real quick, because we got to think about this from like the TV executive point of view, because they're going to be sponsoring this.
Then you're moving Iowa down. You're moving Iowa down, and you're moving Oregon up.
So Oregon moves up,
and Iowa has to move down.
Iowa moves down. And is Mizzou in? And is Maryland in?
Well, this is our 6 team and our 20 team, correct?
Yeah. So yeah, if the prime ads would be eliminated in the 16-team scenario, right? Because we've got 20 teams in the elites, power core, and prime ads. So our 16-team conference is the elites and power core. So you'd have 2 West Coast teams. Right?
Absolutely. Ryan Willie says Auburn out.
Auburn out?
Again, huge brand.
Where's this disconnect with Auburn?
Here's the thing. You've got 2 states that are represented by 2 schools here. You've got Alabama and you've got Texas. Texas, I can justify being represented by 2 schools. Alabama as a state, I have a hard time justifying Alabama getting 2 schools in.
Who takes Auburn's spot in the power core then? Is it Iowa, Washington, Maryland, or Mizzou?
I think it would probably be Washington.
Yeah. Especially because you get 3 on the West Coast.
Yeah, you'd have to have more West Coast travel partners. So,
oh my gosh.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, you could put them in front of Oregon.
Okay.
I said put them in front of Oregon.
Look, Moan, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Washington got in.
I said there's no way we're getting this right. We're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't.
Yeah.
So
let's get to some comments.
you may have to institute tier division with promotion and relegation every 2 years. That's not a bad idea.
It's a fantastic idea.
Well, that spells wow. There you go.
It does spell wow.
Washington over Auburn. Brian Willie says Washington, battle of the UWs. I don't think we'll put it on this weekend's game, though, Ryan. Oh, Big Lubbock has to come in here and put logic into it. Where does Notre Dame go?
And the elites, of course. Yeah, on the top.
And then we have one more and then again we have one team too many.
Yeah. So if you throw Notre Dame, Florida, does Florida State or Clemson make the list in the elites and power core? Because Notre Dame does, and then all of a sudden you're eliminating somebody in the power core. But just Florida.
So how
State
many teams in Florida are we going to have coming out of Florida? You're going to put 2 teams from Florida in?
Probably. Florida State probably doesn't make it. Clemson
doesn't make it either, in my opinion.
Okay, so they're both those. They'd be in the prime ad territory.
They'd be in the prime ad territory. They'd be in power core territory. But I still think they would get 86. Just Florida State, Miami, either one of them. You've got one team in Florida already.
Yeah, Miami probably is in that position too.
Yeah, Miami's got 5 national championships. Florida State has 3. Again, Florida State has one more recently, but Miami's got more historically. It's a neither-win situation. If we say Florida State goes in and doesn't go in, Florida State fans are going to hate us. If we say Florida State goes in over Miami fans will hate us. So we're just going to get hated by everybody for this tier maker. You just prepare for the nasty comments. We're going to get roasted for this. How wrong we got this.
I think that
right now, Conundrum's right on it. He says, swap Iowa and Wisconsin, you morons. Becky says, move Washington or Oregon. It spells out, wow.
Look. Wow.
Nebraska and Florida and Tennessee spell not. So
Not wow. That's
Not
exactly what
ATM
everyone
wow.
thinks of our list. Not wow.
If Notre Dame gets in, who's out?
Yeah,
It's between
exactly.
Mizzou and Maryland. Take your pick.
No, well, Moan, if Notre Dame gets in and it's a 16-teamer, who's out in the power core? One of these schools is getting relegated down and out of a 16 team. And I agree that we need 2 West Coast teams, so these 2 are safe. But then you're looking at Texas A&M, Wisconsin, Nebraska. You got to have Florida. You got to have Tennessee. It's one of these 3.
Well, look, I know Ryan Willie's going to disagree with me here.
Moan.
We're probably going to have to take Wisconsin off because you need more West Coast teams.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a regional thing, Ryan. It's nothing personal, just regional.
Wisconsin's in for now, though. There's no Notre Dame on this list. Wisconsin's in the 16, certainly in the 20. There we go. That is our tier maker.
Jacober Cat says Georgia as elite is a pig with lipstick. Still hot though.
No. No.
Well, hell, I've done worse. Nebraska has no population. They've got a huge national brand, though. Nebraska is a national brand. I've got to give that much to them. I have to give them. Notre Dame, Northwestern just fumbled out of the end zone. Of course they did. That's Northwestern.
Yeah, Northwestern.
Wisconsin stays, especially after Greg celebrated the AD decision. Well, you got to cut Greg some slack, Ryan. He's really got nothing going for his team this year either. So sometimes bad news is the only good news.
So, Moan, did we qualify for hearing what the Wizard?
I was going to tell you what the Wizard said anyway, but I'll check.
Since we're 2 hours and we're 2 hours, almost 30 minutes in the sucker, we're going to hear what the Wizard said.
40. Yeah, we're going to let you know what the Wizard said regardless. Hold on.
Moan, am I going to want to hear what the Wizard said?
You probably won't because it's not favorable for Utah.
Gee, Christmas, Moan.
All right. So the Wizard, and I'm not going to tell you who the Wizard is. I'm just going to name him the Wizard because it's an inside joke. But the Wizard is the same gentleman who told me that Washington and Oregon had mitigated certain factors in getting into the Big Ten. And this was told to me, I think, almost a year before they got into the Big Ten, that they had been working on this thing during an NFL draft party of all things. We were watching the draft and he let this slip to me, but God bless the craft beer in Ohio for that. Thank you. Cheers. But he let me know. I asked him, I came out and asked him, I said, listen, this is what Greg is telling me. So Greg is telling everybody that Ohio State now has the votes to control realignment, and these are the schools that they're interested in: Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia Tech, Miami, and Stanford. And I said, is that correct? And he said, well, you would have to check with the president of Ohio State University to find out if it's 100% correct, but that sounds right. Ohio State is not going to favor any West Coast additions. The only West Coast edition they would favor is Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
Reason being, it's not John Canzano. I don't know John Canzano, but he seems like an okay dude. They're not going to favor any West Coast teams because of what USC did. They're not going to give USC any more proponents for USC type of football, politics anymore. USC was apparently on board and jumped off board once they talked to Michigan. Prior to that, they were on board.
With the private capital
with the
deal.
public capital deal, they were on board.
Public
and then suddenly jumped off board after the Michigan game. And they believe that people, or the Wizard believes, I should say, believes that people at Michigan got in the ear of USC to get them to pull away from the deal at the last minute as well. There is a fear among Ohio State and other teams in the Big Ten. They don't want to give the West Coast another voting member. Right now, Ohio State has an advantage in voting members. They've got 13. They can pass anything they pretty much want outside of public capital because they have 13 votes. And those votes are everybody excluding Michigan and the 4 West Coast teams.
No way. Wow.
They do not want to give the West Coast any more power than they absolutely have to. And they believe the only team that they'd be willing to accept from the West Coast at this point is Stanford.
Yeah.
And that is because Stanford would probably vote Stanford and wouldn't necessarily vote with the 4 West Coast teams. They believe they would vote as an independent entity. They would not vote with the 4 West Coast teams as a block. It would be a safe ad. It would be a beneficial ad for all parties to get Stanford into the Big Ten Academic Alliance. The Big Ten Cancer Research Consortium would make everybody more money in the conference. Yes, it would make those West Coast teams in Michigan more money too, but yeah, they're not going to take another West Coast team. Sorry, he just doesn't believe that they would take a West Coast team at this point. They're pissed at Michigan. Lots of teams are pissed at Michigan. There are teams that are pissed. There are schools that are pissed at USC too, because USC was apparently on board and decided to offload at the last minute. And again, the Wizard believes, and people in Columbus believe that was caused by Michigan. That Michigan is a direct
Michigan
cause.
Trying to do here? I mean, just
Michigan is in chaos. Michigan's in chaos. They don't have a president. They've got a board of regents who are self-serving.
Yeah.
Every regent is out for themselves in this matter. Some of them want to increase their political profile for future campaigns. But yeah, he doesn't think that you're going to get a West Coast edition. If you get an edition, it's going to be Virginia, North Carolina. It's going to be either Georgia Tech, Miami. The only West Coast edition you could possibly add would be Stanford.
I understand.
Utah would vote with USC.
Yes.
Colorado would likely vote with USC. Either one of the Arizona schools would vote with USC.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot give USC more power.
It doesn't seem like it's fitting very well with USC in the Big Ten.
It's not. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that because this is the first real obstacle that's come up. But I think the Big Ten is less annoyed, or I should say the 13 out of 18 votes are less annoyed that USC decided to go that way and more annoyed when USC decided to go that way. Why would you throw up a roadblock last minute?
Like, what is USC trying to hatch with Michigan?
I don't know that USC is necessarily trying to hatch anything with Michigan. I think certain Michigan people got in their ear and told them, yeah, you should be getting tier 1 payments, which I don't necessarily disagree with. And the Wizard doesn't necessarily disagree with. He thinks that's the truth too. He thinks USC should be getting tier 1 payments with Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah.
But they had agreed not to originally, and then they came back and said, okay, we have an issue with that. But they only had that after the Michigan game, after, certain people had talked to certain people within Michigan's envelope of power, if we'll call it
so
that.
To sum it up, there's concern that USC and the West Coast schools will get too much power and the voting blocks will be lost.
If you give them one vote,
if you
remember,
get any other
if you
new
give
school,
those 4 West Coast schools and Michigan one vote, they can block everything.
Yeah, they can filibuster you.
They can filibuster you. They can block anything you want to do. Again, the public capital deal has to be unanimous. That's a has to be unanimous vote. It's not a has to be unanimous vote. Expansion.
Realignment. Yeah.
Expansion.
13 votes.
Ohio State has 13 votes. They can go get whoever they want right now. And guess what? These other schools in the Big Ten, they're not going to oppose Ohio State. They're not. Because Ohio State said, we're with you, ride or die, till 2046. Michigan said no. USC said no. So if you're a Michigan State, if you're a Minnesota, if you're a Rutgers, if you're an Indiana, if you're a Purdue, who are you going to ride with? Well, you're going to ride with the team that wants to ride with you. And Ohio State said, yes, we'll do it, even with an extension of the grant of rights to 2046. We will do this, even though we actually lose out more value-wise than any other team in the Big Ten. We will do this with you, and we will ride with you till 2046. Michigan said no. USC said yes and then no. I mean, it boils down to simply that. Sorry.
What about the travel issues though? Like the real travel issues with these.
They don't care. At this point, those schools don't care. If USC was that worried about travel issues and these West Coast teams were so worried about travel issues, they would have put pressure on Michigan to get this done. They would have put pressure on USC to not speak up and change their mind at the last minute.
Yeah.
They didn't do it. So, I mean, the Big Ten feels like they can't trust any of those 4 West Coast schools right now, especially USC.
Yeah.
Especially USC. And they're not going to add somebody who could vote with them and give them a block of 5 teams that could block everything that they want to do moving forward.
Wild.
You add Virginia, you add North Carolina. They're not worried about where their votes are going. Those votes are not going with USC and Michigan. You add Georgia Tech, you add Miami. You're not worried about where your vote's going. It's not going with Michigan or USC. You add Stanford. You might be a little worried, but you're less worried based off of how much money they would add to the conference and the Big Ten Academic Alliance and Big Ten Cancer Research Consortium.
Yeah, they do their own thing.
They do their own thing. They're as close to an independent school as you can get without being independent. Everybody else, both Arizona schools, Colorado, Utah, they're afraid those schools would vote with USC or give USC a stronger voting block.
Well, that's 100% true. Like, especially for, like, as the Utes.
Yeah, Utah would vote with USC. They would. West Coast has conquered territory. USC is lucky the Big let them keep their wives. Durex and skin over Trojans for that real feeling.
Dude. Gee. Let him cook. Let him cook.
He's my best friend. He's my pal. He's my homeboy, my rotten soldier.
You know what Laszlo was talking about there. I've always been a lifestyles man myself. So, but yeah, they've conquered the West Coast. Why would they give the West Coast any more power? They're not looking to. And everybody in the Big Ten has a newfound respect for Ohio State, that Ohio State was ready to ride or die with them. And Michigan, because Michigan has a dysfunctional board of regents where everybody is looking out for themselves first and foremost, and the university second, and the conference third.
It's just odd that Michigan would go rogue like this.
No, it's not.
I guess. I mean, you've known the Big Ten politics.
If you know the Big Ten, you know this. The last thing Big Ten or Michigan wants is anybody challenging, anybody getting a leg up in the Big Ten.
And so
what Michigan does not want.
Michigan's concerned that this deal, this private public capital deal, would equalize the playing field.
Yeah, would level the playing field.
Yeah.
Which it would. I mean, there's a lot of schools out there right now that are hurting for money, even in the Big Ten, even with that big media deal. You think Minnesota couldn't benefit from getting that money deal? Maybe giving PJ Fleck a raise, getting better players in there. You think Iowa couldn't benefit from that money deal? Getting better NIL players in there? Everybody would benefit from that money deal. Who wouldn't benefit? Michigan probably wouldn't benefit. Michigan's already got enough money. Michigan is playing, welcome to club, we got ours. I got mine. Fuck you. And that's a game they're playing. Michigan is saying, we've got ours, and we don't care that you ain't got yours, I guess you should have swum harder.
That's fascinating stuff, Moan.
Go Black 45. Good to see you, Go Black. Wild U, is PE dead at the Big 12 because Kansas, Utah, and 3 others won't vote for it?
It's very questionable what the future looks like for a lot of schools. With this Big Ten update, it moves all the time. But it seems
fluid.
like it's fluid. It is fluid. KU, Utah, TCU, Colorado, these schools, not really sure where they're going to go. Like we've talked about, if there was a best of the rest outside of the Power 2, and we built out like a conference doing that, and it's just not very attractive. It's just not. So I don't know where Utah, KU, or anybody else goes. It's tricky though, because the money, you're so behind on the money that it's hard to compete with the Big Ten and the SEC in the Big 12 conference. And so any vestige of hope that you have to get up into the Power 2 for the finances and everything else, it's hard to fully commit to Big 12 and do private capital, public capital, sign on more dotted lines to commit to that conference when the revenue of financing gap is so different. Like it's just you're kind of hanging yourself if you think that there's another option. So I can't even answer this right now because it seems like all doors are closed, yet there's hope that maybe you can get in and help the finances in the future, because it doesn't look like the Big 12 is going to be able to compete financially anytime soon with the SEC or the Big Ten conference.
No, but I would put this out there, and this is a caveat: just being considered by the Big Ten conference raises your value to the Big 12.
Right.
The fact you could say, hey, Utah, Colorado, both Arizonas and Kansas were considered for the Big Ten is enough to raise the value of the Big 12.
I think that just going back to that too, I really think it's more of a priority, especially for the Big Ten to take out the ACC. Like that's the only way to lift the revenues is actually to cannibalize and eat them up, and then lift and just reduce the media rights that are available at the big conferences. So I think that until that happens, you're probably not going to see a private equity deal. But once that does happen, then you probably do, because I think there needs to be a Power 3. There's just too many power conferences, and the ACC needs to get gobbled up by the Big 12, and then things change.
I do caution that Washington is voting with USC. They're following Michigan more than anything. Washington can't be trusted at this point. I'm sorry, it's nothing personal against Washington, but there's 3 other Pac-12 teams that are out there still. And as much as we want to say that it's all one big happy family, it's clearly not.
Yeah.
Clearly not. You are still distant West Coast cousins that we don't trust.
It's just weird to see where that goes too, Moan.
USC's
got a big ego.
They do. They do. Thanks for the heads up, Moen. The Big 12 won't add Michigan. Yes, you would. You would add them in a heartbeat. Don't lie to me, Big Lubbock. You might not want them, but I know the Big 12 would add them in a heartbeat.
The Big Lubbock wants Michigan. He does.
Will there be another attempt at PC next year? It's on pause right now. They're still trying to get this deal through. But probably until Michigan names an actual president, it's probably not going to happen. Realignment in Cruton is vicious as fuck. It absolutely is. It is a game of stabbing people in the front and in the back and on the side and from top down and bottom up. Nobody is joining the Big Ten from the Big 12. I don't disagree. As of today, as of the latest from the Wizard.
Subject to change. Things are fluid.
Come on, Moen. Colorado is not a serious consideration to the Big Ten. Colorado would beg to differ. Would the Big take Kansas? This is a great question. I think they would, but there are 4 candidates in front of there are 5 candidates in front of Kansas right now. That's the thing. If Virginia, unless Virginia separates from North Carolina, if those 2 schools split and North Carolina goes SEC, Virginia goes Big Ten, then I think it opens up another slot. But in the Big Ten, we already know there's a faction that's 20, faction that's 22 for expansion. I think if you go 20, you can get Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia Tech, and Miami. You would take those 4 first. If you're going to 22, if for some reason Virginia and North Carolina have to split off, and there's a whole Virginia Tech situation in there too, Ryan. But right now, the main point I want to get across is F Michigan. Everybody in the Big Ten is saying F Michigan. And even some of those West Coast schools, because they were dependent on money. Moen really feels like the Big will not expand at all. The bottom teams drag things down too much. Same in the SEC. Best of the rest with no ACC or Big 12 ads is a very valuable play. I will end it on this point, Fergie. I think the Big Ten does expand. They're going to at least 20. It's just a matter of time to see who those 20 are. It's either going to be North Carolina and Virginia, or it's going to be Georgia Tech and Miami. And then it's going to be up to Notre Dame what Notre Dame wants to do. But I have a feeling that if Stanford finally says yes to the Big Ten, says yes, we'll join the Big Ten Academic Alliance, Cancer Research Consortium, I think that gives enough leverage for the Big Ten to finally make their final push towards Notre Dame.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's always going to be Stanford and Notre Dame.
Absolutely. Big 12 Mafia wants to know, what did the Wizards say, Mo? And you'll have to watch us on demand, Nate, to figure that out.
Let's go.
Let's go. For myself, for Wild Ute, for Nate, who is not here but is apparently watching, I want to thank everybody for joining us here on the Big Freaking Friday show on the College Football Mafia Network. I want to give shout outs to people who've left some super chats, especially Stormy Cyclone, Becky Go Huskies, MBM, Justin R, College Football Express, the Evil Badger, Ryan Willie, Fergie, Nathan Jones, Ricky Tungate, Sean Gaynor, who's a new member. Thank you, Sean. Jacobra Cat, especially, you're always cracking us up with your super chats, Jacobra Cat. Keep it up, sir. I will see you guys on Sunday for Moen After Dark. As a reminder, we've got that full interview with Cody Campbell that is up now. You can watch that now. We've also clipped out a little segment there that kind of covers BYU Texas Tech if you want to catch up before the game. New Moen Confidential is up and available for members in the members only section. Just released to the public as part 1 of that series. Moen Confidential, where we're covering Georgia Tech, Duke, Miami, and Florida State. Definitely check that out. For myself, for Wild Ute, we will catch you guys next Friday. Until then, be safe, have fun, peace out.